You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up the better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the 6th part of What If Naruto Enters Witch? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of pyrohelixdrago, co-written with KFB Anime 87 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Phobos Castle. Phobos stands from his throne and focuses his power on the ground, creating an image of his sister, the face of my sister after all these years, Phobos said, basically burning the image in his mind. I've successfully won her confidence. Her Earth name is Elian Brown, Cedric said, telling the prince her full name. Elian, yes, she'll make an excellent princess. Well, for a while, Phobos said as he and Cedric began laughing maniacally. Behind the throne were two of Phobos's guards, one being a soldier while the other was Vathic, who looked like he was desperately trying to suppress a laugh. He was biting the inside of his mouth to try and suppress his laugh as he remembered what happened last night. Flashback. The Meridianites were not able to comprehend what they saw or smelled. Prince Phobos was seen wearing the robe he was always seen wearing, but it had only one key difference, and that difference was that it was all pink and smelled like the backside of a palling. The people could only whisper among themselves as they couldn't believe what their prince was wearing. Flashback end. Get yourself together, Vathic, you have just learned the identity of the princess, you need to get this information to Caleb, Vathic thought to himself. Later at the Silver Dragon. CRP, Naruto said as he tried opening the back door only to realize it was locked. Looks like we're going through the front door, he said, not all liking this as other people would see how badly Caleb was hurt. So. Caleb said, not seeing the big deal while being held by Naruto. Subtlety isn't your best trait, is it? Naruto said rhetorically as Caleb once again showed he isn't aware of how people from Earth would interpret or react to his injuries. Naruto could only look at him blankly, and the moment they reached through the door Naruto peered inside and saw that there weren't that many people inside, so he got a better grip on Caleb, then quickly went through the front door, and just as they were a few feet away from the kitchen door. Naruto, Caleb, a familiar voice said their names, and when they looked back they saw Alchemy looking at them curiously and then in worry seeing the state Caleb was in. Oh my god, are you okay? What happened? She asked, seeing all the cuts on his face. Oh yeah, I'm fine, Caleb said, not wanting her to draw attention. He just fell off his skateboard and hit the pavement, Naruto said, hoping his half-truth would be bought. You need some help treating those wounds? I've had first aid training, Alchemy offered, wanting to help. This surprised the two, making Naruto quickly nod as he accepted her help because his own medical knowledge was limited to bandages and stitches. They took him down to the basement and sit him down on the bed. Can you get the first aid kit? Alchemy asked Naruto, who quickly went upstairs to find the red first aid kit. When he got back downstairs he saw Alchemy blushing as Caleb took off his shirt, showing he had no injuries on his chest or torso. Did I come at a bad time? He asked jokingly. And no, did you get the first aid kit? Alchemy asked nervously as Naruto handed her the red box. Naruto was impressed when he saw Alchemy quickly get to work on Caleb's injuries. Seeing her do this kinda reminded him of Sakura when she treated the injuries of her patients. Naruto waited for her to finish, and after she was done Naruto could see all of Caleb's wounds were treated and bandaged up. Wow, she did a really good job on you, Caleb, he said, impressed by her work. Yeah, Caleb said in full agreement as his wounds didn't hurt so bad. Thanks, I actually want to be a doctor, it's kinda my dream job, Alchemy said, blushing a little from the praise. Well, you're off to a good start, Naruto said, seeing no problems with Caleb's bandages and fully confident she would succeed. Naruto then left, leaving the two alone, and as he got up he spotted Yen Lin currently taking a break, which was rare, but with so few customers it was understandable. Hey Granny, how's your training going? Naruto asked quietly so only she could hear him. Fine, come to give me more training exercises. Lin asked as she was easily able to do his exercises now and no longer felt the drain in her life force, but she couldn't do everything she once did in her prime as she still had limitations and had to ease into it so her body could adjust to using her powers more frequently. You're going to cut through leaves with just chakra as it'll show how powerful and far you've come, and it's also an exercise that'll make your wind stronger, Naruto said, explaining the purpose of this exercise. As he and Lin discussed training, they both failed to realize that Will, Irma, Terane, and Cornelia entered and quickly went to the basement. Basement? What the hell happened to you? Irma said, asking the question on everyone's mind as they saw Caleb all bandaged up sitting on a bed. A bit of a portal mishap, Caleb said, answering honestly. Gee, you think? Will said sarcastically as she and the others got closer to look at his injuries. Guys, guess what? Hey, Lin said as she ran down the stairs till she stopped when she saw the state Caleb was in. Wow, what happened to you? She asked curiously. Landed through a portal, Caleb said, beating the other girls to the punch, not giving them the opportunity to say something that would embarrass him. Anyway, Elian got a guy, Hey, Lin said, surprising the other girls. A guy? Irma asked, wondering who it was. Who? Will and Terane asked, wanting to know the person's name. She didn't tell me, Cornelia said, sounding a little hurt because her best friend didn't tell her. I don't know, all she told me was she asked this guy out to the carnival. Hey, Lin said, mad that she didn't try to get more info out of Elian. Good for her, Terane said, happy for Elian. What's the big deal? Caleb asked, wondering why they were all so excited. Well, duh, it's her first date. Cornelia asked, stating it like it was the most obvious thing in the world. So? Caleb said, not really seeing the big deal. It's an important time in every girl's life and this is Elian's time, Cornelia said, not knowing how else to express its importance. Caleb decided to keep his mouth shut for once as he did not know how to respond or contribute to this kind of conversation. Later at the Silver Dragon. Elian, how come you told Hey Lin you had a date but not me? Cornelia asked, wanting answers from Elian. Hey Lin literally walked into the bookstore and I was just so excited I just told her, Elian said as she kinda expected this to happen as Cornelia was the kind person that would overreact for not being told something of this nature. Well, why didn't you tell me? Cornelia asked, almost yelling. What'll it be, ladies? Caleb asked, walking over to Cornelia's table. Caleb, you work here? Elian asked, wondering how Alchemy's crush was doing. Yeah, I kinda owe Hey Lin's grandma, Caleb said, not wanting to go into detail of how or why he owed the woman. After taking their order and collecting a few dishes, Caleb went to the kitchen, and when he entered the kitchen he saw Hey Lin pressing herself against the wall, spying on Cornelia and Elian. So what did you hear about Elian's guy? Hey Lin asked, wanting details. I didn't listen, Caleb said, not wanting to get in the middle of teen drama. You didn't listen, why? Hey Lin asked, wanting an answer. It's bad enough I gotta hang a towel from my pants and ask people if they want extra apricot sauce. I'm not going to go further than me and myself by jotting down the ramblings of a love-struck girl, Caleb said, sticking to his morals. If you hide behind the mandarin tree and take notes, I'll do your next shift, Hey Lin offered, appealing to Caleb's lazy attitude. Interesting, Caleb said, now putting his morals to the side. Back with Elian and Cornelia. Okay, have you calmed down? Elian asked, tired of dealing with Cornelia's annoying and overdramatic tendencies. Yeah, I'm cool, Cornelia said, letting out a calm sigh. That's good, Elian said, sighing in relief. I just want your support, she said, needing her best friend. And you have it forever and always, Cornelia said quickly, not even needing a moment to think. Thanks, and this guy is just so perfect, he's everything I wanted in a guy, Elian said, her mind traveling somewhere else. Oh, your dream guy, huh? Cornelia said, remembering Elian's dream guy was supposed to be tall, blonde hair, and blue eyes. So what's his name? She asked, wanting to know who the guy was so she could later hurt and threaten him if he hurt her best friend. Elian looked down as she now sported a light blush and mumbled. Elian, I can't hear you. What you say? Cornelia asked as she couldn't hear her. It's Elian said, having trouble saying the name of the guy she like. It's Naruto, she yelled, just blurting it out. Caleb fell to the floor silently laughing as he found this to be hilarious and thought it would get even funnier seeing as Cornelia was already paranoid about Naruto and thought this might send her over the edge. Cornelia just looked at Elian wide-eyed and frozen, not believing what she just heard her best friend say. Elian just stared at Cornelia, not expecting her to suddenly freeze. Cornelia? Elian asked, wondering what had her like this, until suddenly. What? Cornelia said, yelling, getting everyone's attention. You're going on a date with Naruto? She asked, not knowing where to begin. Yeah, geez, what's your problem? You are making it sound like it's the worst thing in the world, Elian said, not knowing how to interpret her friend's reaction, until a stray thought entered her head. Wait, are you jealous? She asked curiously, wanting her friend to answer. Cornelia just blushed as she just imagined what her best friend said, wondering if it was true, and Cornelia's blush was all the confirmation Elian needed. Oh my God, you're jealous? Elian said, surprised and a little angry. W.I.T.C.H. No, I'm not. Cornelia said, quickly denying the very motion. If you're not, then why are you blushing? Elian asked, getting angrier. Listen, Elian, I swear I don't like Naruto, Cornelia said, hoping that would calm the girl down. I hope so, Elian said, leaving angry. Caleb got up and went to the kitchen, wondering how the other girls would react and wondered if their reactions would be as funny as Cornelia. Few minutes later. The other girls were shocked to learn that Naruto was Elian's date to the carnival, having individual reactions. Will was shocked, and when she came out of that shock she looked ballistic. Her anger was so strong it caused a massive power surge throughout the silver dragon, breaking all the light bulbs. Irma was happy for the two, but she couldn't help but feel a sinking feeling inside her gut. Terene felt happy for the two of them but felt a little lonely as she never had a boyfriend before and wondered if she should make an effort to get a boyfriend. Cornelia was in the corner standing in silent rage, thinking of what could happen to her best friend on her date with Naruto. Lin felt joyous that her two friends were going on a date, but felt a little sad she hasn't found that special guy. Ugh, I can't take this. Cornelia yelled out, no longer able to contain her anger. Why him? Why Naruto of all people? She said, not directing the question to anyone in particular. And what is wrong with him? Will asked, still angry that Elian was going on a date with Naruto, and yelling at Cornelia for stupid remarks about Naruto seemed like a good outlet for her rage. We don't know anything about him. What if he tries something perverted? Cornelia said, looking a little afraid. Everyone just stared at her with a blank stare. That literally has to be the most stupidest claim you have said about Naruto, Terene said, as that claim made her think her friend was an idiot. Well, Cornelia was saying until the kitchen door suddenly opened, revealing Naruto dressed very different than the Guardians ever seen him. Naruto was currently wearing black sneakers, black pants, a crimson-red semi-formal shirt with the sleeves rolled up to his elbows, and a dark orange undershirt. Hey guys, what's up? Naruto said, greeting his friends. The girls were literally speechless when they saw Naruto with only one thought on their minds: hot. Cornelia quickly regained her senses and marched straight up to Naruto. Now listen and listen good. If you hurt Elian tonight, I will make you sorry you ever met me. Cornelia angrily, making sure Naruto knew the consequences. I'm not that I'm complaining, but why are you dressed like that? Irma asked. Well, I was talking to Lin earlier and then went shopping with her, Naruto said, trailing off. Earlier that day. After talking about her training, Lin and Naruto decided to have some tea and converse about what was happening in their lives. So how's your new house? Lin asked, wanting to know how he was adjusting. It's great, thanks, Naruto said, happily enjoying his new home. So anything exciting happened lately? Lin asked curiously as she drank her tea. Well, besides bringing Caleb here after he hit the pavement, Elian asked me to go to the carnival with her, Naruto said, making Lin almost choke on her tea. After calmly drinking her tea, she looked toward Naruto. And what are you gonna wear? She asked curiously. Wrong with what I'm wearing? Naruto asked the elderly woman. We're going out, Lin said, getting up. What, why? Naruto asked confusedly. You need to make yourself look presentable, Lin said, pulling Naruto along. Okay, Naruto said, not understanding why. Later at the mall. Can I ask why we're getting so many shirts? Naruto asked after he tried on a few dress shirts and got both a tux and a suit. Because you never know when you might need it, Lin said as if it was sagely advice. Okay, that I understand, but why do I need it tonight for going to the fair? Naruto asked, still not really understanding it. Trust me kid, you'll thank me later, Lin said as Naruto paid for the clothes. They soon left the mall and called a cab, and as they waited Naruto started to chuckle. What's so funny? Lin asked, seeing Naruto chuckling. Well, you see, I really hate shopping, but it was kind of fun doing it today with you, Naruto said, having a genuine smile. Lin looked momentarily surprised, but then smiled as she also enjoyed spending time with Naruto. The two just enjoyed each other's company as they rode back to the Silver Dragon. Flashback end. She was really persistent in me getting some new clothes, Naruto said as Lin put. Looks like someone was playing Cupid, Irma thought, thinking Lin's grandmother was very sneaky. Traitor, Will thought about Lin as she thought Lin knew about her crush on Naruto. Anyway, I gotta go, Naruto said, leaving through the front door, unaware that Irma and Terane were holding back Cornelia from following after them. So something you want to tell us, Will? Irma asked, pointing to one of the many broken light bulbs in the restaurant. Will glared at her with her eyes completely enveloped in lightning, ready to unleash some rage. Everyone stopped what they were doing as someone knocked against the back door, and when Lin opened it she saw that it was Blunk along with a big blue creature. Blunk, what are you doing here? And who is this? Why did you bring him here? Lin said quickly, afraid that someone this big would be spotted even easier than someone of Blunk's size. I need to speak with Caleb, the blue creature said, coming in. Wait, you're Vorto, right? Will asked, not entirely sure of his name. Vathek, he said, correcting her. Vathek? Caleb asked, wondering why he was here. Caleb, I have news, Vathek said in an urgent tone. Excuse us, Caleb said, heading to the basement to talk privately. Hey Blunk, I hear there's a dead pigeon on the roof, Irma said, not wanting to be around Blunk's stink. Minutes later. Caleb came upstairs with a blank look on his face. We need to go. Caleb said, sounding urgent. What's the rush? Will asked as he made it sound serious. The sister of Phobos has been identified, Caleb said, surprising the girls and getting their attention. Her name is Elian Brown. He finished, shocking the girls to their core, none more so than Cornelia. That's not possible, Cornelia said, wide-eyed and in complete denial at what she just heard. The carnival. Elian was currently waiting by the ticket stand waiting for Naruto. I wonder when he'll get here, she thought, wondering where he was. Hey Elian, Naruto's voice in the distance said, and when Elian saw what he was wearing all she could do was turn a bright shade of red. Wow Naruto, you look great, Elian said, not knowing what else to say. Thanks, so do you, Naruto said, thinking that she always looked great. Hey, I'll go buy us some tickets, he said, walking up to the ticket vendor, and received about 40 tickets. So what do you want to do first? Naruto asked. How about we play some games and then go on a few rides? Elian asked, wondering if that was okay with him. Sure, Naruto said, grabbing her hand, making her blush as they walked. They walked until Naruto heard the sound of crying in front of a dart game booth and walked over to see a little girl with black hair crying. Hey, what's the matter? Naruto asked, as he never liked to see little kids cry. I tried playing this game and when I hit the balloon it didn't pop, the little girl said while sobbing. Like I told you before, little miss, if you hit the balloon it would have popped, said the vendor of the game with an all-too-sly grin. Hey, what's your problem? Elian asked, never really liking the types of people that cheated in games. Ma'am, I do not have a problem, this little girl just lost. Now I know it don't seem right with her crying like that, but she lost plain and simple, the man said, not having any remorse even as the girl cried. Naruto, not being able to stand the girls crying, went over to the man. "How much for a game?" Naruto asked as calmly as he could. The man just smirked as held up 2 fingers, which then made Naruto place down 2 tickets. "Naruto, what are you doing? You're just wasting your tickets on this guy. He's just a guy trying to steal and waste your money," Elian said, trying to talk him out of it. "Don't worry, I got this," Naruto said, and then looked to the little girl. "Hey kid, which animal do you want?" he asked, which surprised the girl, but then she pointed to a big pink rabbit hanging by a string. "Alright, here's the rules. You get 5 darts and have to hit 5 out of the 20 balloons to get a prize," the man said, explaining the rules. Naruto listened to what he said and decided to give the cheating man a taste of his own medicine for making a child cry. He focused his chakra into the dart he was currently holding, and when he threw it, it quickly popped 2 balloons, which surprised everyone watching. "So if I'm reading this right, if I pop 5 balloons I get a prize. Let's see what happens when I hit 10, Naruto said, fully confident. His second dart hit 2 balloons just like the first one, then his third, then the fourth, and finally his fifth. The man behind the stand couldn't believe his eyes as the boy in front of him popped 10 RBB balloons with weak plastic-tipped darts. "Now since I popped 10 of your balloons, I think you owe this little girl, that giant pink rabbit and my friend, any prize she wants," Naruto said with a smug grin as the man angrily passed him a bunny and waited for his next choice. "Here you go, little girl," Naruto said as he got down on one knee and handed it to the girl. "Thanks, mister," the girl said, running off with the stuffed animal. "So Elian, which one do you want?" Naruto asked while staring at the man, almost daring him to deny him his second prize. Why don't you pick for me?" Elian said as she looked at the different animals but couldn't decide as she really liked animals. Naruto scanned through the animals until his eyes landed on one particular stuffed animal and pointed at it, which the man then picked up and handed to him. "Here you go, Elian," Naruto said, presenting the stuffed animal. As he gave it to her, she got a better look at it. She could see it was an orange fox with a white underbelly and black feet. "Wow, he's adorable." "Thanks, Naruto," Elian said, cuddling with the stuffed animal. Naruto was happy that Elian was happy, but he picked the animal for another reason, as he knew Elian cuddling with the fox would send the Ninetales into a frenzy, as the fox couldn't handle his species being called cute and adorable. In the distance. "Oh yeah, he's definitely a pervert, 'cause all perverts help sad little kids," Irma said sarcastically as she was both jealous and envious of Elian from the way Naruto was treating her. Cornelia ignored the urge to smack Irma upside her head, but couldn't deny that she was right, as so far Naruto was being the perfect gentleman. Terene and Hei Lin laugh at the jab Irma made toward Cornelia. "Caleb, what happening?" Vathek asked, a little confused. "It's called a carnival, it's basically a festival," Caleb said, explaining the event to his friend. "Not that," Vathek said, pointing to. Will looked at the scene in such intense anger her hair began to move, while also feeling some heartache as she really liked Naruto, and seeing this happen right before her sucked to no end. Back to Naruto and Elian. Naruto and Elian were currently waiting to get on the Ferris wheel ride. "You excited?" Naruto asked as Elian really seemed to really want to go on the ride. "Why yeah," Elian said nervously, as she thought this would be a good opportunity to officially ask Naruto out. Next, the man running the ride said, making Naruto and Elian walk up and enter their seats. "Alright, strap in kids," the man said as Naruto and Elian strapped in as the Ferris wheel started moving. Back with the others. "So Naruto is courting the princess?" Vathek asked in a whisper, wanting to get caught up on what was happening. "Yeah," Caleb said blankly, as it was obvious to anyone who saw. "Oh, this is so unfair," Will said as her power grew so powerful it caused a serious reaction to not just the carnival. It happened instantaneously. The power to the fair went down for all the rides and stands, but it didn't stop there, as everything within a mile of the carnival. "Wow, dramatic much," Cornelia said, actually making a joke at Will's expense, which resulted in a sharp glare. "That's rich coming from you of all people," Will said harshly. "And what's that supposed to mean?" Cornelia asked, feeling insulted. "Ugh, you're a drama queen," Irma said, actually sounding completely serious when she said her remark. "Oh, what if he does something perverted?" Lin said, mocking her earlier remark while also high-fiving Terene, who was laughing at Lin's imitation of Cornelia. Naruto and Elyon. This is literally the perfect opportunity to ask him, Elyon thought, as she and Naruto were currently at the top of the Ferris wheel because it stopped for some mysterious reason. Wow, looks great up here, Naruto said, actually liking the sights he saw in the distance. Yeah, it does, Elyon said, not looking at the sights but Naruto's face. Back with the others. Will face palmed into both her hands at what she had done, making her issue that much worse and making Elyon's date even better. So did you plan that, or did that just literally blow up in your face? Irma said while chuckling. Vathek and Caleb just ignored the girl's remarks as they just continued to observe the princess, looking for any potential dangers. Naruto and Elyon. After waiting till the Ferris wheel was fixed, Naruto and Elyon went to go grab something to eat from one of the vendors when Elyon spotted a popular carnival snack. Oh, wanna get some cotton candy? Elyon asked, liking the pink fluffy treat. Sure, is it good? Naruto asked curiously. Is it good? It's cotton candy. Elyon said until a sudden thought hit her. Have you never had cotton candy? She asked, actually wanting confirmation. Not really, Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. Well then I'm about to blow your mind, Elyon said, dragging him to a man selling cotton candy, who then gave them 2 sticks with pink cotton candy. Elyon looked at Naruto and waited with anticipation, wanting to see how'd he react. Well, how is it? Elyon asked, wanting an answer. Naruto nibbled, chewing the soft treat, and smiled. Not bad, he said, eating some more. Maybe the girls are right, I should try more food that isn't ramen, Naruto thought, thinking it was really good, but still not as good as ramen. Finding a place to sit down to eat and talk, and after a while of talking and feeling sticky, they decided to split to go to their designated bathrooms, but as Naruto walked he got the feeling he was being watched but couldn't pinpoint it as there was a lot of people at the carnival. With Cedric and co. Ugh, I can't do anything from here, I need to get closer to the girl, Cedric said until he saw the guardians and rebel leader, covertly, make their way to Naruto. Naruto finishing fast came out of the bathroom, but was soon blindsided by his friends. Naruto, we need to talk, Caleb said hastily. Okay, what's up? Naruto asked, curious as to why they were all here. Elyon is the princess of Meridian, Caleb said, not beating around the bush, surprising Naruto. Of course, the girl we're all friends with is the princess of Meridian, Naruto thought, and wondered how he didn't notice the familiarity Elyon had with Phobos, as they both had the same type of blonde hair and similar facial structures. Well, what do we do? I can't just go up to her all of a sudden and say she's a princess after hanging out for so long, Naruto said, as this might cause Elyon to freak out, and worse of all, she'd either believe him and panic or call him crazy, putting him in the loony bin. But he couldn't deny that she didn't deserve to know, after all his parents were kept a secret to him his whole life, and if Elyon reacted the same way he did when he found out about the Ninetales, they were all screwed. No, you can't listen, just go find her and keep her safe, Will said, almost sounding bitter about telling him to do what she said. Naruto didn't object to the idea but was curious to why Will looked so upset and sad. Hey, Will, you okay? Naruto asked, wanting to at least make sure before he left. Even when he should be focusing on Elyon, he's worried about me, Will thought, touched by his sentiment. I'm fine, go, she said, sending him off, then had on a serious look. Any of you say a word and I'll make your hair stand on split ends for a very long time, she said as she saw Irma grin and subtlety approach. Elyon. Hey, sorry if I made you wait long, Naruto said, scratching the back of his head nervously. It's alright, I just got here myself, Elyon said, a little cheerful. Hey, anything else you want to do? Naruto asked as he was still new to carnivals. Yeah, how about we head to the haunted house? Elyon said, knowing there was a certain ride in that direction. A few minutes earlier. Elyon had just finished going to the bathroom and was currently waiting for Naruto. She was brought out of her thoughts when she heard someone call her name. Hello, Elyon, Cedric said, greeting his employee. How are you enjoying the carnival? He asked, acting as if he wasn't following her around. I've been having a great time. Elyon exclaimed excitedly, as being here with Naruto had been really fun. Oh, did you ask Naruto if he wanted this to be a date yet? Cedric asked, already knowing she hadn't. Elian looked down in shame as she had yet to ask Naruto. No, I haven't, she said, not even lifting up her head. Don't feel bad, Elian. Love is tricky, Cedric said, as he knew of what some people said about him being with Miranda, and if you ever need someone to talk to, my shop door will always be open to you, he said. Elian smiled at her friend's offer. Thanks, but I don't know what to say to him or what I'll even do, she said, not knowing what to do. Cedric grabbed both her shoulders and turned her around to where she was facing a certain ride that just might help in her situation. Present. Elian was currently but discreetly bringing Naruto to the tunnel of love, hoping that ride would somehow help express her feelings. In the distance. Oh my god. Cornelia said as she saw where Elian was taking Naruto. She isn't gonna do what I think she's gonna do, is she? She asked the others in clear panic. Whoa, girls committed, Irma said in surprise, actually speechless. Wow, she's bold, Terene said, a little envious of her friend's boldness. Hey, Lin didn't know what to say as her mind metaphorically crashed from shock. Will was beyond jealous and angry now and subconsciously did something she wished she'd done sooner. Elian and Naruto. Nearby the haunted house. As they got closer to the tunnel of love, the ride just stopped working, and to add insult to injury, the control panel suddenly exploded, but luckily no one was hurt. Aw man, Elian thought as the perfect opportunity literally blew up. Hey, you ready for the haunted house? Naruto said, cheering her up a little as she still got to be close to him. In the distance. The girls were silently laughing at Will for the extremes she was willing to go to just to prevent Elian from making the move she wanted. You know, this is the funniest day of my life, Caleb said, not that concerned for the princess as long as she was with Naruto. I know something funnier, Vathek said, remembering last night's events. Let's hear it, Caleb said, fully interested. You really gotta stop acting so dramatic, babe, Irma said to Will. You're gonna end up like Corny if you don't, she said, getting a small laugh out of Will. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do, Will said, sounding sad and whiny. Irma felt for the girl as Naruto just seemed perfect even to her when she had dreams about him. Well, what does your heart tell you? She asked as she was a person who followed her gut and heart. I should have said something sooner, Irma, Will said, surprising Irma a little from Will's sudden confession. I really like him, but now he's with Elian, she said, sounding sad. Just tell him how you feel, Irma said, sounding dead serious. You'll never get any closure if you don't tell him, she said, not wanting her friend to have any regrets for not doing anything. Will was surprised by Irma's serious-sounding tone but knew she was right. She was interrupted from her thoughts as Caleb laughed loudly. Everyone stopped what they were doing when they all heard screams of panic from the haunted house. Earlier inside the haunted house, Cedric was still monitoring Elian and Naruto and knew he had to cause some panic to separate them, as he needed Elian to be alone for him to further gain her trust, as their date had yet to show any results. Cedric sent the Lurden, who commanded the Larvek to stir up trouble. The green centipede-like creature with bright violet eyes entered the building, surprising some people who thought it was a new addition to the haunted house on account to how disturbing the creature looked. The Larvek wasted no time letting out a loud roar, scaring most of the people inside the haunted house, making them run away in fear. On the tracks a little ahead were Naruto and Elian, currently watching the animatronic monsters act as whatever basic monster they were. Naruto heard the monster and started to sweat as he was currently stuck between a rock and a hard place, as Elian didn't know about magic, and if she looked back for even a second and got a real good look of the Larvek, she'd figure out it was real, and to add insult to injury, if he even did something that seemed weird or strange to Elian, he'd draw unnecessary attention from Elian and she'd figure out something was off, which meant he'd be screwed. Back with the girls. Everyone was currently rushing to the haunted house as they couldn't take the chance if it was nothing, as Elian was in there with Naruto. Ugh, we should have been closer, Caleb said, berating himself, as even though Naruto could very much protect himself and Elian, that didn't mean he would abandon other people's lives, meaning he'd be at a disadvantage. There's no time to look back on it now, we gotta get there and make sure they're safe, Will said, putting her jealousy to the side, wanting them to be okay. With Naruto and Elian. DMN it all to hell. Naruto thought as he prepared himself if the larvae attacked as it was currently eyeing him and Elian as if they were prey to be feasted on. I need to do something otherwise this thing will attack us he thought as the creature seemed very impatient. Hey Naruto, you okay? Elian asked seeing Naruto act all stiff. Are you scared? She asked sounding like she was teasing him. Naruto slightly eased up a little as Elian calmed his nerves a little. Of this place never, he responded confidently till a ghost popped out of nowhere making him jump slightly making Elian giggle. It amazes me how pathetic you can be, the Nine-Tails said mentally to Naruto, you have me a literal giant mass of chakra made of anger and rage, you can stand up to me but not some cheap knockoff of a spirit, he continued feeling a little insulted. Are you serious that is what you wanted to say to me? Seriously? Naruto asked incredulously, how about a little help unless you have a way to help you can put on a muzzle and shut the hell up, he thought in response. Not that you deserve it, but I think I figured out a way for you to make shadow clones the Nine-Tails said sounding arrogant through the link. Really well don't keep me in suspense, Naruto thought sounding sarcastic. I have been keeping track of your training and something crossed my mind when you practiced your elements the Nine-Tails thought confusing Naruto, in our world chakra exist in everything from a person's body to the land they walked on, but earth is different as chakra only exists in humans and animals meaning even with elemental chakra a person manipulating that element would find it extremely difficult, yet you are somehow extending your chakra to whatever element you're currently using and if you can extend chakra to the elements why not separating it from your body thus creating a clone, the fox said to Naruto who thought of what the fox said and tried to separate a small piece of chakra from his body which. But wait what about magic? Naruto asked still keeping an eye on the creature as the incredibly slow cart moved and he still focused on the small mold of chakra outside his body. From what I've seen magic bends certain rules but still follows rules of its own, the Nine-Tails responded as it perplexed even him how magic fully worked. Naruto just sat back accepting the answer to his question, but immediately put all his focus in the mold of chakra he separate and soon calmed down as it wasn't forming a clone so he began to feel himself in the chakra mold trying to give it his shape which thankfully worked as he heard a familiar sound. The Naruto clone was surprised it formed from what the original did, but put that to the side as it had a predatory worm to fight. The Naruto clone snuck behind the worm and grabbed it by its tail throwing it far away from the original Naruto and Elian. The worm picked itself up from the debris it was under and looked extremely angry, come on you oversized caterpillar show me what you got, the Naruto clone said taunting the creature which resulted in it shooting a web from a hole in its chest which the clone quickly dodged. Okay that's a new one, the Naruto clone said as he didn't think the caterpillar-like creature was capable of actually shooting out actual webbing, well this'll be interesting Naruto thought as the creatures of Meridian kept on getting more and more interesting with every new one he saw. Naruto, the Naruto clone heard the girls' voices call him and when he looked over his shoulder he saw that they were in guardian form and brought Caleb and Vathek. Where's Elian? Cornelia said in both panic and worry for her best friend. With the original Naruto I'm a clone, the Naruto clone said specifying what was happening. Okay and what the hell is that? Irma asked seeing the vicious worm look at them. It's a larvex, Vathek said not taking his eyes off the creature. Okay, and just what is a larvex? Hey Lin asked curious to what the creature was. It's basically a giant predatory worm, Caleb said giving her the shortest most basic info about the creature's species. Enough talking it's time to start fighting, the Naruto clone said charging at the worm with some kunai. The others didn't need to be told twice as they all charged the creature, the clone threw a few kunai at its underbelly which wasn't very successful as it webbed a few of them and the few that didn't even pierce it meaning it had a shell-like underbelly. The larvex grew tired of dealing with them all and decided to shot out multiple shots of webbing which only got Terene, Cornelia, and Heilin. DMN it got me. Terene thought as she was enveloped in webbing then she tried to burn through the webbing with no success as it only showed a bright orange light, if this isn't working then I should up the power, she thought as the orange light quickly turned blue making the webbing begin to sizzle then started to burn leaving a puddle of melted goo. Ugh this sucks. Heilin said as she struggled to get out of her webbing okay calm down, what would Naruto do, she thought until she was hit with inspiration and started focusing. Wind around her making the wind sharper as it rotated around cutting deeper until she freed herself. Cornelia was having the most trouble as she couldn't summon her element as she was surrounded by plastic, so she couldn't summon her element without drawing attention to the haunted house. She was pulled out of her thoughts as the larvex grew closer and soon loomed over her with a hungry look in its eyes. Cornelia closed her eyes in fear, expecting the creature to devour her, but as she waited she noticed it never came, and when she opened her eyes she looked in surprise as Naruto used both of his hands to keep its jaw open. "Hey Cornelia, how you doin'?" the Naruto clone said, looking back at Cornelia with a smirk. Cornelia looked surprised at how protective Naruto, or rather his clone, was about others. It made her cheeks flush red as she was the one he was protecting. "Hey, can someone get Cornelia out of the webbing? This thing is kinda strong," the Naruto clone said as he was starting to be pushed back because his chakra was so minimal. Terene and Lin started to cut through the webbing around Cornelia carefully as they didn't want to accidentally harm her, and when she was free the girls decided to take to the sky. "Everyone, let's wrap this up," Will said as everyone began to prepare to attack the larvex. The larvex wasn't going to give them the opportunity to attack, so it decided to strike first. It charged toward the Naruto clone, who wasn't moving and had a smug grin on his face, but all of a sudden it stopped in its tracks, and when it looked back it saw it was being held by its tail by V.I.T.C.H. "Everyone attack now!" V.I.T.C.H yelled, struggling to grip the larvex's tail. Everyone wasted no time attacking the larvex. Naruto and Caleb rushed straight toward to the larvex, and as they approached it the larvex shot 2 shots of webbing straight at them. Naruto dodged it while Caleb sliced the shot fired at him, and when they got close enough Naruto fired some shuriken that wrapped around the larvex body, restraining it, giving Caleb the opportunity to stab it in its hole on its chest, breaking the teeth around it as it bled heavily. The larvex screamed in pain as its hole was damaged along with the organ that produced its webbing. It crawled away trying to get away from receiving further damage. Will and Terene started blasting at the wounded larvex, who climbed atop a Tesla coil, giving Will and Terene the perfect opportunity as they charged and heated the Tesla coil, giving it so much power and heat it sent the crashing into some wooden crates. "Come on guys, let's wrap this up," Will said as she and the others. "Yeah, let's do it," the Naruto clone yelled in excitement as he prepared a rasengan. Lin gathered up some dirt with her wind and focused it around the larvex, blinding it, giving Naruto the perfect opportunity to ram it with his rasengan until he got hit with a sudden idea. "Will," he said, getting said guardian's attention, "throw me some lightning," he said as Will wasted no time sending some lightning over to Naruto's rasengan, which then transformed into a dark navy blue ball that had 4 lightning bolts rotating around it. The Naruto clone shoved the lightning rasengan through its hole on its body, making it scream upon impact as its whole body surged with lightning inside its body, basically cooking it from the inside. After the lightning stopped surging throughout its body, it fell to the ground unconscious. "That was so cool," Lin said in excitement, very impressed by the attack. "Tell me about it," both Will and the Naruto clone said, causing them to look at one another, both blushing as they were a little embarrassed. Cornelia used her power to gather some planks from the ride to trap the larvex's body in a crate so it would be easier to hide. "Man, am I tired," Will said as she was feeling a little exhausted from today's events. Here, Irma said, not getting any reaction from her joke. "Hey Caleb, you and V.I.T.C.H gonna be okay waiting for a portal to Meridian with that thing?" the Naruto clone asked as he knew the original would send more clones to assist if need be. "Nah, I think we're good," Caleb said as V.I.T.C.H picked up one end of the crate the creature was in and let the other end drag. Hey Naruto," Will said, getting the clone's attention, but not before she calmed herself and steeled her nerve and resolve. "I want to talk to you after you're done with Elian," she said, surprising Irma, who knew what she was about to do, and all she did was smile. Theta girl, Irma thought, happy her friend was making her move. The clone only needed to nod as the original would get all its memories, as it just then disappeared. "Congrats, Will, you're gonna get your man," Irma said, slapping her friend's shoulder. "Oh, this is so romantic," Lin said as she let her imagination run wild. "You got this," Terene said, wanting to support her friend. Cornelia remained silent, unsure on how to contribute to the conversation. Will transformed herself and the others back to normal, and after that she left without a word. Naruto and Elian. This was fun, Naruto said, really enjoying himself even though he almost could have been eaten by a massive bug. Yeah, it was, thanks, Elian said, bending her head down to hide her blush. No problem, it was fun coming here with you, Naruto said in all honesty, as it had been a while since he's been to a festival of any kind. Yeah, I should probably go home, Elian said as it was starting to get late. Naruto was gonna offer to take her home but remembered that Will wanted to talk to him, so he had to stay. Sorry, I have something I have to take care of, something. If I didn't have to I'd walk you home, he said as he knew it was the right thing to do. Oh, that's okay, you didn't have to, Elian said in surprise, as she didn't expect him to walk her home to begin with, but knowing he would have done so was such a romantic gesture it made her feel like she was a princess in a fairy tale. Good night, Elian, Naruto said as he walked away. Good night, Naruto, Elian said, staring at his retreating figure completely starstruck. With Naruto. Naruto was currently searching for Will as she seemed like she had something important she wanted to tell him. Naruto, Will yelled, running towards him. Hey, what's up? Naruto said nonchalantly, trying to ease the mood. Hey, Will said in response. So how was your date with Elian? She asked as that was the first thing to come to her mind. Idiot, she mentally yelled at herself. Date, what are you talking about? Me and Elian were just hanging out, Naruto said as Elian only asked him to come to the carnival, she didn't ask him here on a date. Will's jaw was hanging open when she heard that, as she couldn't believe what she and the others saw was nothing more than two people hanging out, but then realized this was her chance, her final opportunity. Well, Naruto, she said, stuttering. Naruto saw her stutter and wondered what was wrong. Well, what is it? It's okay, you can tell me, he said, hoping to reassure her and calm her nerves. Will said, still stuttering, not knowing what to say. Why is this so hard? She thought as a few tears rolled down her face. Naruto quickly went up to and placed his hand on her face, causing her to look up to him to see his bright eyes shining in the light as he wiped away her tears. Whatever is bothering you, you can tell me, he said in complete and total honesty. Will just let out a few more tears as this was one of the reasons it was so hard. He was such a kind person and it made her feel inadequate. It no more doubt, she thought as she suddenly grabbed his dress shirt collar and pulled him into a kiss. What they were both unaware of was that they were being watched by two sets of eyes. Elian earlier. After Elian said her goodbye to Naruto and started walking home, she ran into a familiar someone. Cedric, she said, walking over to him. Oh, Elian, what a surprise. How did my advice work out? Cedric asked, faking curiosity. I couldn't ask him. I just couldn't do it, Elian said, both embarrassed and disappointed in herself. We all have things we're afraid of, Elian, but in the end it's important that we face them. You should go find Naruto and tell him how you feel, Cedric said, acting all supportive. Elian slightly perked up, taking her friend's advice and immediately rushing back to the carnival to see if Naruto is still there. She didn't know how, but she somehow felt like she knew where he was and ran in the direction of that feeling, but when she got there she saw Will talking to Naruto, which confused her as she didn't know Will was even here. She decided to wait and see what was going on between the two. She sees them talking and sees Will beginning to cry, but that ended when Naruto went up to her and wiped away her tears. Then in a sudden moment that made Elian feel like her heart was being ripped out, she saw them kiss. She didn't know what to do. She silently panicked and cried, hating herself for not taking Cedric's advice earlier. She ran away with no particular destination in mind, just knowing she had to get away from there. Phobos Castle. In his throne room, Phobos could be seen watching the events of what was happening at the carnival. He was disappointed in some events and very pleased in others. Him seeing his sister fail to capture Naruto's heart made him displeased that he couldn't put his plan into action, but seeing his sister heartbroken made it that much more easy to manipulate her, and that was still considered a win to him. Naruto and Will. Will pulled away from the Naruto as she just finished showing him how she really felt. Both of them were embarrassed and looked away from each other, blushing from Will's sudden action. Naruto was really embarrassed as it was his first kiss with a girl. Can honestly say he enjoyed it as it was nice and passionate while also being warm and caring. Will, I don't know what to say, Naruto said, not knowing how to handle this. That's okay, Will said, knowing better than expect him she suddenly fall in love with her, but can I expect answer from you, she asked in a hopeful tone of voice. Count on it, Naruto said quickly. Later at the Silver Dragon. Naruto is currently sitting at one of the tables at the Silver Dragon, not even touching his food as his head laid on the table in deep thought. Lin, seeing this, wondered what happened that made him like this, so she went over and sat at his table. You want to tell me what's going on? She asked him, not beating around the bush. Something happened tonight, Naruto said as he let out a sigh. Well, what happened? Lin asked, curious as to what made Naruto so focused on. Will kissed me, Naruto said, plainly not knowing how else to say it. Lin was surprised by what he said, as she expected a lot of things but didn't see that coming whatsoever. And now I don't know what to say to her. Lin, I've never been in a relationship, hell I've never even had a girlfriend, Naruto said, surprising the woman. Lin put all her stray thoughts to the side as she focused on Naruto as he needed some guidance. Let me ask you something, she said, getting his attention. Do you like the thought of seeing Will with another boy? She said, getting him to think. No, Naruto answered hastily, as he didn't like that thought whatsoever. Then you have your answer, Lin said as she proceeded get up and leave Naruto with what has been said. Naruto looked deep within himself as he concentrated solely on Will, not thinking with his mind but feeling what was inside his heart, and after a while of soul searching he got his answer. Will's apartment. Will was currently getting ready for bed but felt like she couldn't sleep with all the thoughts about what Naruto would decide raced through her head. Her thoughts were put on hold as she heard tapping on her window, and when she looked over at it she saw Naruto and immediately rushed to open it. We got to stop meeting like this, Naruto said jokingly, as this was the second time he talked to Will while hanging outside her apartment. Will rolled her eyes and opened it so he could come in, and when he was inside they both just stood there in silence until Naruto decided to speak up. Will, Naruto said, sounding nervous, which surprised the guardian as she had never seen him nervous before. I've never had a girlfriend before, and when you kissed me it surprised me, Naruto said, basically spilling his guts out. Will felt bad now as she felt like she acted too suddenly on Naruto, but in truth she never dated a guy before, just like how Naruto hadn't dated a girl. Maybe she should have not have done anything. Naruto, listen, I'm Dash, Will was saying till Naruto stopped her. But before I came here I did some soul searching, and every time I thought about you I was just so happy, so if you're willing to give me a chance will you go out with me? He asked, and before he knew it he felt Will's arms wrap around him and her face buried in his chest with tears. Yes. Will said, unbelievably happy. Naruto smiled and wrapped his arms around her, pulling her into a hug. Bookstore. Elian walked right into the bookstore and saw Cedric move around a few books trying to reorganize. Cedric, can I talk to you? She asked with tears coming down her face. Always, Cedric said as friendly as he could. Will's apartment. Ugh, what am I gonna wear? Will said, throwing multiple articles of clothing from her closet to the floor. Ahem, where to what? Susan said in a parental tone, seeing her daughter's messy room with clothes all over her floor. My date with Naruto. Will said, all panicky and suddenly realizing who she just said that to. When Susan heard this all she could do was smile as she saw the way her daughter looked at Naruto, and she actually approved, seeing as he was very charming and kind to Will and others. Oh well, that's great, she said as she gave Will a hug as she was very happy for her. Will blushed a little in embarrassment from the hug, then realized her mom could actually help her. Hey mom, can you know, help me get ready for my date, she said, saying the last part in haste, almost mumbling it. Susan beamed, just full of excitement at the prospect of helping her baby girl get ready for her first date. Yes. We'll need to do your hair, maybe add a little makeup, she said, trying to think of what'll be needed. Let's not bust out the big guns just yet, okay, we're just going to the pier, Will said, nervously, not wanting her mother to calm down, while also just remembering that Naruto admired a girl's natural beauty. Oh fine, so the pier, huh? That sounds like fun. How you getting there? Susan asked, as it seemed very important as it was about 5 miles. Naruto's driving, Will said. He has a car. Susan asked, a little surprised. No, a motorcycle, Will said, picking up a rather nice dress. You're not wearing a dress, Susan said in a firm tone of voice. Why not? Will asked, wanting to know before she got angry. Trust me, dresses and motorcycles don't mix, Susan said as she remembered when she did that, and it wasn't very pleasant as the hem of her dress flapped in the wind. Silver Dragon Basement. This is way funnier than I thought it'd be, Irma said, seeing Naruto acting nervous when all she and the others usually saw was a powerful fighter. She was enjoying this till someone elbowed in her side. Come on, he needs help, Howlin said seriously. Okay, Irma said as she rubbed her side. So where you to love birds goin'? Irma asked curiously, wondering where they're going. The pier I will pick, since I don't know a lot of places we could go to, Naruto said as he slightly calmed down. Not a bad place for a first date, Irma said, not seeing a problem. Oh, what are you gonna wear? Hey Lin asked, wanting to know. What's with girls and clothing? Naruto thought as Lin asked the same thing. Ugh, what's wrong with what I'm wearing? He asked, already regretting it. Nothing/everything, Irma and Hey Lin said at the same time, looking at each other in confusion. I think he looks fine with what he has on, Irma said, thinking his normal clothes were okay. But this is Will's first date, we gotta make her date look presentable. Hey Lin said, wanting to make Will's date great. Hey Lin, girlfriend, this is a date to the pier, not a date to a 5-star restaurant. This is Will's date, not Corny's, Irma said as she knew that would be Cornelia's idea for a date. Okay, what if I change my look just a little bit? Naruto offered as he saw this going nowhere. Oh, I have the perfect design. Hey Lin said, getting her sketchbook as she had multiple designs for clothing for both Naruto and Caleb, most of them for Naruto. How about we do this? Naruto said, taking Hey Lin's sketchbook, found a blank page, then did a quick sketch. After a few minutes, he gave Hey Lin her sketchbook, and when she and Irma looked over the design, they both seemed to approve. Later, outside Will's apartment building. Naruto was currently outside Will's apartment waiting for Will, dressed in a completely new outfit. Naruto was currently dressed in a yellow-orange shirt that was under a black leather jacket while also wearing dark navy blue jeans. I'm starting to like wearing jackets, he thought as he liked the room they provided. Hey Naruto, Will called out, dressed in a lime green tank top wearing dark pink pants that was being held together by a violet belt. Wow, Naruto thought as he looked at Will, thinking she looked pretty. Wow, Will thought, liking his new look, thinking he looked hot. So you ready to go? Naruto asked, passing her his spare helmet as he got on his motorcycle. Yep, Will said, putting the helmet on as she got on his motorcycle. Naruto started up his bike and started making his way toward the pier. Wow, this feels great, Will thought, liking the feeling of the wind blowing across her face. Her thoughts were interrupted as the road started to get a bit bumpy, making her grab onto Naruto for support. Sorry, the road's a little bumpy, Naruto said, sounding weird from the vibrations from the road. You better hold on tight, he said, focusing on the road. Trust me, I'm not complaining, Will thought as when she wrapped her arms around his stomach she felt his abs, which were really defined. They had to stop as they caught a red light waiting for it to turn green. But as they waited, a girl on a brown Vespa pulled up right next to them. She was wearing a red helmet over her head covering her hair and goggles that protected her eyes. She wore a beige shirt under a blue vest and had a long emerald skirt on. Wow, cool Vespa, Will said in a low tone, but Naruto still heard her even though the sound of his engine was roaring. The driver of the Vespa turned her head and had a look of surprise when she spotted Naruto and Will. Then her look of surprise turned to a look of joy as she then took off her helmet, revealing to be someone they both knew all too well. Oh good God, why her of all people? Will thought, hating the person in front of her with every fiber of her being. The person on the bike turned out to be Sandra, someone who they both thought left town. She was looking at them, looking in a way that made them both uncomfortable. Hello Naruto, she said seductively, eyeing him up like he was a piece of meat. Then she looked toward Will, and hello to you to Will, she said, her voice full of venom and hate. This will not end well whatsoever, Naruto thought, as Will and Sandra were literally worse than Sakura and Ino when they younger, ready to go off whenever they were near each other. What do you want, Sandra? Will asked, wondering why the light hasn't turned green yet. From you nothing, but him on the other hand, Sandra said, once again eyeing him up. Can't you go annoy someone else, Sandra? Naruto and I are on a date, Will said, wanting to rub it in Sandra's face while also hoping to get a rise out of her. Sandra was actually surprised when she heard that statement, then quickly began laughing as if she had been told the funniest thing in the world. Naruto, I have to say you have great taste when it comes to your clothing and your motorcycle, but you obviously don't have taste in women, she said, making Will glare at her in rage. Naruto looked completely calm on the outside, but on the inside he was seething with rage as he hated when someone talked down to the people he cared for like they were nothing but garbage. Hey Sandra, pull over, Naruto said, pulling to the side of the road with Sandra right behind him, just as the light finally turned green. Listen Sandra, and listen good, you are a stuck bee, Naruto said, surprising both girls as they never heard him curse or sound so angry. You're just some bee who peaked early, used your looks to manipulate people, but you know deep down that when your looks fade you'll have nothing, meaning no friends or anyone who'll give a damn about you, he said as Sandra looked like someone just slapped her across the face. Wow, Will thought to herself, impressed that Naruto was really giving it to Sandra. So do me a favor and F off, Naruto said as he started his motorcycle's engine and took off with Will, leaving a shocked Sandra just standing there. That was the hottest thing I have ever seen, Will thought as Naruto just got so much more hotter in her eyes from telling Sandra off. Pier. Naruto and Will just arrived at the pier and parked in the pier's parking lot. Will suddenly hugged Naruto the instant they both got off his motorcycle. That was so incredible, Naruto, she said, amazed by what he said to Sandra. Naruto just smiled. It was no problem, I just hated how she was talking about you, he said, getting angry just thinking about it. Will had a light blush from what he said as it sounded really sweet to her. Thank you, she said in appreciation. No problem, and I mean it, helping you will never be an issue, Naruto said as he was always willing to defend the people he cared for. Will's blush just got brighter from what he said. Come on, let's grab some food, she said, wanting to get closer to the end of the dock. Few minutes later. Naruto and Will were currently sitting at a table near the edge of the dock eating some pizza while also enjoying the view of the ocean, which was illuminated by the light of the moon, giving it a somewhat relaxing feeling when you looked at it. This is nice, Will said, feeling calm and happy. Yeah, it really is, Naruto said, feeling the same as Will. Wanna go for a walk on the beach? Will asked, wondering if he wanted to go for a walk. Sure, Naruto said as he wiped his hands clean. Beach by the pier. Naruto and Will were currently walking along the beach with their shoes in their hands and their pants cuffed as they felt the tide wash over their feet. Oh man, this feels amazing. Will said, twirling around, enjoying the feeling of sand between her toes and the smell of the ocean breeze. You must really love the water. Maybe you should have been the guardian of water instead of Irma, Naruto said jokingly. Will just laughed. Nah, I'm happy being the guardian of lightning, she said as some sparks appeared around her, but man, I just love swimming, it just feels so great and free, she said excitingly. Wow, swimming must be really important to you, Naruto asked as he recognized the sound of someone just loving something just because it made them feel more alive than anything else. Are you kidding? I've been dreaming of going to the Olympics since I was a kid, Will said, fondly remembering the promise she made to someday get to the Olympics. Well, big dream, I could help train you for it, Naruto said as he'd seen some of the Earth sports, and while some looked difficult, the ones in the Olympics seemed mainly focused on one's physical abilities, and even though some people were good, anyone from his world could participate and win easily. Really? Will said in both shock and excitement at his offer. Yeah, Naruto said until he got hit with a sudden idea. You wanna see something cool? He asked her, which she nodded slowly in response. Naruto looked around and didn't see anyone, so he walked straight toward the ocean standing right above the water. Shocking, Will, impressed, he asked her, seeing as she looked completely shocked. How are you? Will mumbled, not knowing where to even begin. Well, you know how I can walk on walls. I can do the same with water, Naruto said, giving her the basic principle of the technique. You seriously gotta teach me that. Will said while thinking of what she could do if she could walk on water or walls. I'll teach you another time, cause right now we should be focused on our date, Naruto said, wanting to give Will his full attention. Alright, come on, Will said, grabbing hold of his arm as they continued their walk. Later at the pier. That was nice, Will said, finding the walk very relaxing as they were now sitting at a table at the pier. Yeah, it was, Naruto said, never knowing something so relaxing could be so fun. As they sat down, they both took the opportunity to truly look at each other, admiring the other's looks, seeing them as the amazing person they saw the other as. Will truly wished this moment could last, but knew she couldn't until she spotted something that came as close as it could get. Hey Naruto, let's try something, she said, pulling Naruto to a rectangular booth with a curtain on one of its sides. Will placed a few quarters into it and squeezed inside with Naruto. So what is this thing? Naruto asked, feeling a little cramped, and saw a screen with a countdown for 60 seconds. It's a photo booth, it's gonna take a couple pictures of us, Will said, seeing the timer countdown. Oh, so you wanna do some poses or something? Naruto asked, thinking it would be boring to have multiple photos of the same thing. Yeah, this thing is gonna take 4 pictures total, so what do you wanna do? Will asked, having an idea for the last picture. We could look normal for the first one and funny faces for the next one, Naruto said, thinking out loud at the top of his head. Oh, and a peace sign for the third one, Will said, seeing as they only had 20 seconds left. Oh, it's almost out of time, you ready? Naruto asked it had 15 seconds left. Yep, Will said as she watched the remaining seconds countdown. The first flash came and captured both Naruto and Will smiling while tilting their heads. A few seconds later Naruto and Will did funny faces. Naruto closed his right eye and pulled the bottom eyelid of his left eye down, sticking out his tongue, and Will just made a winky face, closing her left eye and sticking out her tongue a little. After another few seconds they both did sideways peace signs with truly happy smiles. And before the final one was taken, Will pulled Naruto into a kiss, the second one they have shared ever since the carnival. But this time Naruto returned the kiss, making it more special than the first one, and the booth captured that moment, capturing the intense emotions from that moment. Naruto and Will exited the booth. They waited for the machine to dispense their pictures, and after a few seconds 2 sets of photos came out, and after looking them over each, both Naruto and Will took one so they could have the pictures to remember this day. Come on, it's time to get you home, Naruto said as it got pretty late. Will begrudgingly agreed as she felt a little tired. Later outside Will's apartment door. Well, this is me, Will said, a little sad that tonight had to end. Yep, this was great, Naruto said, actually downplaying it with a small smirk as on the inside he was going crazy with happiness from the date. Well, good night, Will said, looking at him longingly. Yeah, good night, Naruto said as they both just stood there looking into each other's eyes for a few more moments till Naruto departed. Man, tonight was great, Will thought while feeling like she was missing something as she dug through her pockets looking for her keys. Oh, Will, I forgot something, Naruto said, quickly walking back. What is it? Will asked curiously. This, Naruto said, pulling her into a tight embrace, kissing her, surprising the keeper of the heart, who very much appreciated and returned said kiss. Unknown to either of the two, they were being watched by Susan Vandom, who was on the other side of the door looking through the peephole. Oh, my baby girls in love, she thought, both happy and sad that her daughter had found love, while it also showed how grown up she was becoming. But she shook those thoughts away as she quickly got her old camera and quickly opened the door where the young couple was still caught in the passionate kiss they were sharing, not even noticing the red-headed girl's mother. Perfect, Susan thought, getting the angle just right as she took the picture, alerting the couple of her presence. Mom! Will yelled out, surprised by her mother's arrival while still holding on to Naruto. Hi Mrs. Vandom, Naruto said nervously, letting one of his hands on Will go, waving it at Will's mom nervously. And just at that moment another flash went of capturing the image of the very nervous couple. Well, that going in the scrapbook, Susan said, completely serious. Now Will come inside and tell me how your date was, Susan said, moving aside so Will could get in. Good night Naruto, Will said with a bright blush as she knew her mother was gonna press her for details. Good night Will, Naruto said, but as Will entered her home he saw Will's mom give him a terrifying look while mouthing to him, "You hurt her, you're dead," then shutting the door. Man, the women I know are crazy, Naruto thought, wondering why he drew in such strong women, but if he was being honest he liked that most about them. Next day at Naruto's house. Man, I really love this thing, Naruto thought, admiring his motorcycle after he finished polishing its frame. The black and orange motorcycle looked completely brand new as its frame shined in the light, showing absolutely no scratches or dents. Time to take this baby out for test drive, Naruto said, getting on his bike. Open road. Naruto was currently doing 90 miles an hour, enjoying the sound of the blowing past his helmet, loving and enjoying the vibrations and the rush he felt. Nothing can beat this, he thought, never wanting this feeling to end as he felt so free. Naruto continued to drive for an hour, unaware as time seemed to be moving so much more slower for him than he realized. He later on stopped at a local gas station to refill his tank back up with gas. Good to see you again, kid, a man said, walking up to him. Naruto looked at the man and was certain he seen him somewhere, until it hit him as it was the man who sold him his bike. Hey, how've you been? He said, extending his hand, which the man took, shaking it. So how's she been treating ya? The man asked, wondering how the bike he gave Naruto was doing. Oh, she's amazing, I can hardly believe how smooth she rides, Naruto said, smiling fondly at his motorcycle. Maybe you should let me look at her and give her a tune-up, the man said, offering to look at his motorcycle. Sure, Naruto said, not knowing much about mechanics and didn't want to turn down an offer for a checkup on his motorcycle. Later at the garage. Naruto just waited, wandering around the garage until he spotted a familiar-looking Vespa. No way, he thought, remembering that Sandra drove that exact same type of Vespa. So you noticed the Vespa, the man said, wiping some oil and grease off his hands. Yeah, and believe it or not, I actually saw this kind of Vespa last night, Naruto said, seeing that it was the same type of Vespa Sandra drove. Wait, hold on, did the driver have long auburn-like hair, wearing a blue vest, and have on this ridiculously long skirt? The man asked, surprising Naruto. Yeah, how'd you know? Naruto asked, still surprised. That annoying little bee was here yesterday. She bought that model of Vespa, which is a GTS 300cc, and took off. Ungrateful little bee, the man said, never having the pleasure to have met someone as unique as Sandra. Naruto laughed a little, but then had a crazy idea come to mind. Hey, how much for the Vespa? He asked curiously. The man looked at Naruto a little confused. Kid, you have a motorcycle, I don't think a Vespa is your kinda thing, he said, not wanting to sell him a vehicle he wouldn't be compatible with. It's not for me, but for this girl I kinda like, Naruto said, thinking he would blow Will's mind with the Vespa. The man nodded in understanding. Okay, so you're doing this for a special lady, huh? Okay, the Vespa costs about 7 grand, 8 if you want me to add in similar modifications like I did to your motorcycle, he said, knowing he would say yes as he knew Naruto liked quality. 1 hour later. Okay, here she is, the man said, showing Naruto the new and improved black Vespa while also giving him the keys and a red open-face helmet with some goggles. Nice, Naruto said, admiring the man's work. Yeah, quick question, how are you gonna get your motorcycle and this Vespa outta here? The man asked, making Naruto momentarily pause. OSHT, Naruto thought as he just realized what the man said. Can you give me a sec to call someone? He asked as going through the back door. Okay, I need to make a clone, Naruto said, using his new method of making clones, which took only about a few seconds this time. Now who to turn it into, he thought, until his thoughts drifted towards someone he hadn't thought of in a while, Irika, his first sensei and older brother figure. He remembered the first time they went out for ramen and how Irika berated him for how bad he ate and how poorly his table manners were. Naruto came out of his thoughts as he transformed the clone into a copy of Irika, but dressed in regular clothing which consisted of a plain black t-shirt and some regular blue jeans. Okay, hope this works out, he thought as they waited a few minutes so they wouldn't draw too much attention as to how Irika got here so quickly. After a certain amount of time passed, they entered the garage where his motorcycle and Will's Vespa. Okay, gotta get this to Will's apartment, Naruto thought as he and the clone disguised as a Irika headed towards Will's apartment. Later at Will's apartment. Will was currently inside her room listening to music on the radio, doing some homework, until she got a call from Naruto, whose name had hearts on both ends of his name. Hey Naruto, what's up? She said, turning down the music. Hey, look out your living room window, I gotcha something, Naruto said over the phone, sounding excited. Okay. What's outside? Will asked, wondering what he got her as she reached the window, seeing Naruto outside looking directly at her living room window. Oh, nothing, just your new Vespa, Naruto said, yelling out, surprising Will, who just screamed in excitement, drawing the attention of her mother as she hanged up her phone ready to run down. Will, what's the matter? Susan asked, worried as to why her daughter screamed. It's Naruto, Will said, hastily grabbing a jacket. Why? What happened to him? Susan asked, wondering if she should be worried or not. Nothing, he just got me something. Come on, I'll show you, Will said, deciding to bring her mother along. Downstairs in front of Will's building. Ah, oh my god, Will said, looking over her new set of wheels. Susan was a little distant, having a faraway look on her face that Naruto quickly took notice of. Hey Mrs. Vandom, are you okay? Naruto asked, a little curious. It took Susan a little while before she answered. Yeah, I'm fine, she said, still looking somewhat distant. Can I talk to you alone for a moment? She asked, seeing Will not take notice of them talking. Sure, hey Will, we'll be right back, Naruto said, seeing his girlfriend still fawning over her new Vespa. Yeah sure, Will said, not really paying attention or listening to what they were talking about. Naruto and Susan entered the lobby a good distance away from Will. Naruto knew something was wrong as he saw the serious expression on her face. Did I do something wrong? He asked, literally feeling the tension in the air. Susan let out a sigh of exhaustion. No, you didn't do anything wrong, she said, her features easing up a little. It's just, I don't want history repeating itself, she said, confusing Naruto as he didn't know what she meant. What are you talking about? Naruto asked, wanting a little clarification to what she meant. You may have noticed Will's father isn't around, Susan said, getting Naruto's full attention as he did notice Will's father didn't seem to be living in Will's apartment, so he dropped it, seeing as it wasn't his business. Yeah, but I never really bothered to ask, seeing as how it seemed like a touchy subject and wasn't any of my business, Naruto said, getting a small smirk out of Susan. Thanks, Susan said in appreciation, but the reason he's not around is because I left him, she said, surprising Naruto. Why? Naruto asked, feeling there was more to it than that. Will's father Tony did some questionable things, Susan said, not knowing the right way to say what he did. He was a businessman, a bit irresponsible, and thought he could just pay his way out of whatever problem he had in both his job and his family, she said, a little sad just thinking about it. I don't want Will to go through the same heartache I did, so please, I'm begging you, don't end up like her father, because before he became the person he is now, he was a good person, kinda like you, she said, remembering the early days when she and him were happily in love. Naruto clenched his fist a little as he wondered how anyone could put anything above family, and wondered if Will's father was anything like Gato, but put that to the side as he brought his attention back on Susan. I won't, I promise, he said, fully intent on keeping that promise like every other promise he has made. Thank you, and please take care of Will, Susan said as both she and Naruto looked over at Will, who was still fawning over her Vespa. You didn't even have to ask, Naruto said as they both just smiled at each other. Now let's go back outside, he said as they then proceeded to leave the lobby. So do you like your gift? Naruto asked, and the smile on her face was all the confirmation he needed. Yeah, there's not a thank you big enough, Naruto, Will said, giving Naruto the strongest hug she could give him. Susan looked at the scene happily. Maybe I was worried for nothing, she thought happily. Silver Dragon. Okay girlfriend, give us the deets, Irma asked, wanting the details of Will's date along with the other girls. Will felt a little embarrassed telling her friends about her date. Well, we went to the pier, enjoyed some pizza, went for a walk on the beach, and took some pictures, she said, happily reminiscing in the memories of her date with Naruto. Oh, that sounds so romantic. Hey Lin said with stars in her eyes just picturing it. Come on, more stuff had to have happened, Irma said, knowing Will was holding out. Oh, we ran into Sandra, Will said, having a smile on her face, seeing the angry and confused looks on the other girls' faces. And why do you seem so happy about that? Terene asked, knowing for a fact Will couldn't stand Sandra. Yeah, why the hell are you so happy that you saw that lying narcissistic bee who was a pain in all our asses? Cornelia asked, wondering how Will could be so happy seeing the girl that made their school lives hell. Well, here's what happened. Me and Naruto were going to the pier on his motorcycle, and when we hit a red light, Sandra pulled up right next to us on a Vespa. She started talking CRP about me while still trying to get with Naruto, but when he heard her trash talk me, he put her in her place. I swear you guys had to be there. He cursed her out, Will said, giving the girls the gist of what happened. The girls were surprised as they couldn't imagine Naruto of all people doing that, as he was always nice and kind to others. The girls burst out laughing as they all found Naruto telling Sandra off to be the most hilarious thing ever. Oh babe, you should have led with that, Irma said, holding her stomach as it was almost painful for her to laugh. Yeah, Will said, letting out a giggle as she remembered what Naruto said to Sandra, but then remembered something. Oh, he also got me a really nice gift, she said, making the other girls curious. Well, don't leave us in suspense. What did he get you? Terene asked, wanting to know. Come on, I'll show you, Will said, taking everyone to the alley behind the silver dragon where Will brought them to a black Vespa. He got me this, she said, surprising all of them. What? You only went on one date? Irma said, feeling a mixture of surprise and jealousy. Yeah, I mean, this gift seems a little much, Hey Lin said, kinda wanting a guy to go above and beyond for her. Forget that, I mean, Will, you are totally living my personal fantasy, Cornelia said, as it was her fantasy to have a boyfriend to spoil her and shower her in affection. Terene just stayed quiet as she fantasized what it would be like having Naruto as a boyfriend and what dates with him would be like. I know, I mean, he didn't have to go this far with the gift, but man, it's amazing, Will said as she did a lot of riding on her Vespa when she got it. Heatherfield Institute the next day. Isn't our school paper totally lame? Elian asked, finding the paper completely boring while also looking toward Naruto and Will, who were sitting on the windowsill together, sending each other not so subtle glances. Seeing this made Elian a little sad. I should have made a move on him when I had the chance, she thought, thinking if she did she would be Naruto's girlfriend. What's more than totally? Irma said, thinking the school paper was full of nonsense and other CRP people didn't care about. Teacher parks too closely to fire hydrant, Will said, momentarily taking her eyes off Naruto to read one of the many and less articles put into the school paper. Gonna have to agree, Naruto said as he found the newspaper the Konohamaru Corp did was way better than the CRP he read from the newspaper in his hands, but before he closed the paper he spotted a certain article about an opening in the swim team. Maybe Will would like to try out for the team, he thought, remembering what Will said about swimming in the Olympics and how she loved swimming. Of course you would, Cornelia said, making Naruto raise an eye. And what do you mean by that? Will asked before Naruto did it himself, as they both wondered what she meant. Oh, just that you have him totally whipped, Cornelia said, answering Will's question while the others looked at her as if she was crazy. That's not true, both Naruto and Will said, making Cornelia smirk as that didn't help their case. Well, you both are talking in sync, Cornelia said, making the new couple blush in embarrassment and frustration with the Earth Guardian. Wheat rolls in cafeteria, the untold story, Hey Lin said, reading the title of the weird article while also unknowingly helping the couple out. And the photos, look at this picture of a wheat roll, Terene said, looking at a black and white picture. Ugh, I think that's a Teach Mr. Collins maybe, Hey Lin said, unsure if that was a wheat roll. Terene adjusted her glasses, looking at the picture more intently, trying to figure out how the picture was Mr. Collins. Oh, Irma, why don't we see if we can help him out with the paper, she asked, wanting her very creative friend to join her. Thanks, but I'd rather be stung by bees, Irma said, not even batting an eyelash as she meant what she said wholeheartedly. Speaking of pictures, how about the ones of me? Cornelia asked, getting a lot of curious stares. There aren't any, Elian said plainly, as she knew where Cornelia was taking this. Exactly. They call this a paper, Cornelia said, dropping said paper on the floor. Elian just looked into the paper and ignored her friend's narcissism, hoping to find at least one good article, and she did when her eyes spotted one she was there for. Oh, check this out, a power outage a mile long from the carnival. Wonder what caused it, she wonders, not noticing the smirks the girls were giving Will, who was blushing a bright shade of red. Luckily for Will, Mr. Collins approached their group with a smile as he saw them with the new school paper. Hello girls, how do you like today's issue? He asked, wanting their input. It's nice, Will said, nervously hoping he'd buy it. You really think so? I'm the staff supervisor, Collins said, proudly happy that his work contributing to the paper was paying off. Oh, we love it at the restaurant for wrapping fish, Lin said, getting looks of surprise from the others as that sounded really harsh and it came from Lin of all people. I only had 5 students on it and the editor quit, so we're down to 4, Collins said, making Naruto and the girls look at each other as they knew where he would lead the conversation. I don't suppose any of you, he said, only seeing Terane with a very excited grin and Naruto and Irma struggling to get off the floor as they slipped over some stuff that fell out of a locker. Great! Naruto, Terane, and Irma consider yourselves the paper's new editors, Collins said, making Terane squeal in delight while Naruto and Irma mumbled some less pleased remarks. Sweet! Terane said excitedly, ready to begin. Evenings and weekends at school, okay, could it get any worse? Irma asked, unknowingly tempting fate. Greetings MDM boss, now we can be together all the time, Martin said, talking a picture of Irma. You just had to say something, didn't you? Naruto said, as he knew better than to give fate an opportunity as it would jump at the chance. Wait, back up, we have to come to school. On our weekends? He asked, hoping she was kidding. Yep, Irma said, not beating around the bush, as it was like this so students wouldn't miss class or fall behind. F my life, Naruto said, while Irma thought it as it would be hell to be in a place they both despised. Oh come on Naruto, give it a chance, it'll be fun, Terane said, trying to lift his spirits. Yeah, I'll go, Naruto said, making Terane smile while still thinking this would SCK. End of the school day. I'll be back, I'm just dropping Will off home, Naruto said as he picked Will up this morning. Alright, as long as you're not bailing, Terane said, hoping he wasn't using this as an excuse to leave. Wait, that's an option? Irma asked, completely serious. No, Terane said, shooting her friend's idea down. Come on Naruto, let's go, Will said as she went through the exit. Don't worry, I'll be back, Naruto said, going toward the exit. You know, probably, he said as he left the building. That isn't funny. Terane said, yelling, knowing he could still hear her. Don't even think about it, she said, not even turning around as she knew Irma was trying to make a stealthy escape. Oh come on. Irma said in defeat from being caught. City. I can't believe you're doing the school paper, Will said, giggling a little at his expense. You find that funny, huh? Naruto asked, getting a small smirk out of Will. Yeah, kinda, Will said, honestly, still giggling. Wonder how funny it'll be when the others find out I gave you a ride because someone forgot to put gas in their Vespa, Naruto said, effectively shutting the keeper of the heart up. Outside Will's apartment. Sometimes I really hate being nice, Naruto said, stopping his motorcycle in front of Will's building. I don't, Will said a second after he said that. It's one of your best qualities and one of the reasons why I really like you, she said, having a light blush on her face as she got off his motorcycle. Thanks, Naruto said, smiling in appreciation. So you're not jealous that I'm gonna be with another girl, are ya? He asked, mostly joking as he knew some girls got jealous when a guy hanged out with a girl. Nah, Will said nonchalantly, I trust you, she said, having no doubts that Naruto wouldn't cheat on her as he was as honest and loyal as they came. So does this officially mean we're boyfriend and girlfriend? Naruto asked in a joking manner. Will walked up to him and kissed him, and after a few seconds of kissing each other, Will stared at him smirking. Does that answer your question? She said, walking inside her apartment building with a smile on her face. Naruto just smiled seeing her enter. Huh, so I'm a boyfriend, he thought as he started up his motorcycle, and man, can I pick M, he thought happily as he drove away. Heatherfield newspaper room. Journalism is more than just what happened, it's why isn't getting to the truth why we joined the school paper. Terane asked, trying to motivate everyone. We wanted to write about clothes, Bess Grumper said as she and her sister Courtney wanted to put in some up-to-date fashion in the paper. I got detention, it was either this or clean toilets, Jiraiya said, looking a little afraid as everyone knew the guy's bathroom was disgusting beyond measure. Is that job still open? Irma asked, completely serious as her power made it so cleaning was easy. That's a good question, Naruto thought, as this made it easy to get out of his current predicament and it could be a good way to test out his progress and control over water. We need to put out a paper that matters, no more silly stuff about wheat rolls real stories that really matter, Terene said getting Martin pumped up. Yes. Martin exclaimed in excitement. Research fact-checking, Terene said listing off the things everyone needed to do for their pieces. I hear you sister. Martin said going along with Terene. Let's get to the truth people. Terene exclaimed in excitement. Hallelujah. I'll do it, Martin exclaimed loving Terene's speech. Naruto just stared at the scene blankly completely bored, but even in his boredom he couldn't help but notice a barely noticeable feminine giggling and when he looked around he saw that the sound was coming from a girl with short shoulder-length blonde hair being held by a pink headband, she had bright blue eyes and was wearing a pink shirt with long white sleeves. He saw how she stared at him and he could tell she was crushing on him which was surprising. A girl likes Martin that's new, Naruto thought as he didn't think a girl would be in for Martin. It wasn't because he thought he was a bad guy he just thought Martin could be odd at times. Newsflash I hate my life, Irma said looking even more bored than Naruto. Hey, Irma who's that girl over there? Naruto said pointing to the girl who was looking at Martin. Irma looked over to where he was pointing. I think her name is Michelle, she's a foreign exchange student, she said seeing the girl around the school and even shared a class with her. Wondered if I should help Martin get with her, Naruto thought not really one to play Cupid, but knew Martin could use a helping hand. Next day. Now who would break into my locker? Elian said looking around her locker to see if anything was missing, and then just take my hairbrush and a math test I made a perfect score on, she said making Naruto and the girls to go either stiff or gasp in surprise. Cornelia quickly regained her senses as she walked up behind Will and tugged her sleeve. It's got to be Phobos, we have to warn her, she said wanting to protect her best friend. We're not even sure this has anything to do with him, Will said trying to put everyone's nerves at ease as they couldn't be paranoid by every single thing that happened. Naruto wasn't so easily convinced as he knew from experience even the tiniest part of someone's body could be used for almost anything and with how magic was made it even more possible. Later at the Silver Dragon. So Granny any ideas on what Phobos could do with alien stuff? A Naruto clone asked as the original made it as he knew Yen Lin was the person to go to as she had a magnitude of information on Meridian or what Phobos could do with alien stuff and the original wanted to be kept informed. It is beginning. Phobos is preparing for the ceremony of the amalgamation, Yen Lin said getting confused stares from everyone besides Caleb. Hair for her body, perfect test for her mind, she said explaining that meaning of the things taken. Spirit is hardest, you must capture her breath, she finished easing some of their nerves. If one of his creatures even thinks he's getting that close to her just let him try. Caleb said doing a spin kick hitting a very expensive lamp. Before the lamp hit the ground the Naruto clone quickly caught it before it hit the ground. You've already broken 4 lamps, let's not make it 5, the Naruto clone said knowing Caleb broke enough of Yen Lin's stuff. Also this is why I won't let you stay at my house, he said not saying this to hurt his feelings or pride, he was just stating the facts. Ah, thank you Naruto, Yen Lin said as she really liked that lamp and Caleb broke enough already. Once Phobos has performed the ceremony a part of Elian will already be in Meridian, her resistance to his emissaries' appeals will weaken, she said telling them the importance of Elian's breath so they could protect it and prevent it from being captured. That's why Elian needs to know. Cornelia said hating the fact that she was hiding this from Elian. Cornelia, if we tell her she either won't believe us or she'll believe us and totally freak how. Does that help her? Will said giving her the negatives of what could go wrong. Ugh, I hate this, the Naruto clone thought, hating every moment that he hid this from Elian as she was his friend and he felt like a hypocrite for not telling her because most of the people that he was close to knew about his parents were and the Ninetales. Then someone needs to keep an eye on her, someone who doesn't go to school or work or have anything important to do, Hey Lin said wanting to protect Elian the best way they could. What about Naruto? He could make clones to watch her, Cornelia said willing to put all her doubts aside if it meant protecting Elian. I can only handle so much because my clones transfer the stress and memories they receive back to me, the Naruto clone said explaining the one major downside to using clones, but we can monitor her in school separately and I can send a clone to watch her periodically after school, he said as he saw the sad worried look on Cornelia's face. Cornelia gave Naruto a look of appreciation as Elian's safety meant a lot to her. What about Blanc? Lin asked due to all the free time the Pauling had. The Naruto clone pondered the idea for a moment as Blanc could keep track of Elian for them as they fought Phobos's army. Yeah, that sounds good and all, but what does Blanc want for this little job? He asked, knowing the Pauling would want something in return. Blanc stopped watching TV and eating food from the restaurant's trash. More hats, he said, laughing. The Naruto clone just looked at Will and Lin with a blank stare. I can't because some people burned my ramen, he said as the two girls looked away with small smirks. Oh, get over it, you big baby, Will said, relishing in the fact she helped burn the unhealthy food. How's your ear? Lin asked cutely, acting all innocent. You know, she may seem all cute and innocent, but underneath it all she's got a mean streak, the Naruto clone thought. Lin took a piece of food from her plate and gave it to Blanc, who quickly ate it. Fee deposited Blanc on case, he said, running to look for Elian. Oh yeah, you wouldn't let me warn her, but you're letting the Wonder Frog watch her. Cornelia said angrily. Ah, Cornelia, you must respect Will's instincts, Lin said, wanting to keep the harmony. Before Cornelia could respond, everyone looked to Will as they heard the heart make noise. They took out the map and held the heart over it, where a red X appeared on it, showing them the location of a portal which was located inside the school. Phobos is manipulating the veil so all the holes in it are near his sister, Lin said seriously, making the girls even more worried. The Naruto clone remembered Frost said the same thing about the veil when he attacked the original. Terane, Irma, and Naruto are at the school right now, Will said, worried about their safety. Heatherfield Institute. Okay, this is really big. Greta Moreno wore her blue plaid skirt twice this week, Courtney Grumper said. Okay, that's not exactly a story, Terane said, not seeing tidbits of gossip as news. The wheel's spinning, but the hamsters are dead, Naruto said to Irma, making the water guardian stifle a laugh. Oh, print it and let's go, Irma said as she felt like she was being tortured. Even though Naruto kept her entertained through some of it, it was still boring. Irma was taken out of her depressonate state as she and Naruto heard the sound of metal clanging. What was that? She asked, both curious and worried to what the answer to her question might be. Well, Martin said he wasn't coming until he found a huge story, Terane said, coming up with a logical answer to ease her and the others' nerves, which means that he's in the cafeteria, and that was probably him knocking over all the bunt pans, she said, convincing herself of what she said. Cafeteria. Martin was currently crouched down behind the counter in the school cafeteria where he went to inspect a noise he had heard. A good reporter stays calm, he said to himself as he was a little afraid, and just as he mustered up enough courage to look behind the counter, all he saw was nothing. He jumped onto the counter and saw the tables and chairs being moved by nothing. Ha! Exclusive story, schoolgirls' photos to come, Martin yelled, running into the room. Martin, I told you that's called air conditioning, Terane said as she and a lot of other people knew Martin had an overactive imagination. No, I saw it this time. Well, I didn't see it, but I saw what it did or would have done. You'll see, Martin said as he quickly left the room. Few minutes later. Oh, why are we still here? Irma said in a whiny voice. Because Martin obviously saw something, and knowing the CRP that we deal with on a daily basis, let's not take the chance, Naruto said as he wanted to make sure it wasn't something from Meridian, as with all the weird CRP he's seen from both his world and Meridian, so a ghost weren't the most unbelievable thing. Oh come on Naruto, you cannot believe that Martin actually saw something, Terane said, unconvinced by Martin's claim. Well then it should be no problem if we look around, Naruto said, not giving up so easily. Naruto, come on, let's just dash, Irma was saying till they heard a loud squeal noise coming from the basement. Naruto just gave them a look that basically said, does that sound normal? And as they approached the doors, Naruto heard the faint sound of footsteps quickly approaching the doors, so he pushed Terane and Irma to the side, and just a second after he did that the doors burst open. But what surprised Naruto was that there was nothing there except some purple slime that just appeared out of nowhere and then felt like he was being pushed down by some pig-like feet. What the hell was that? Naruto asked as he was on the ground covered in some purple slime with small pig-like feet prints on his clothes. A Hermanuta beast, Caleb said, coming up the stairs with the rest of the girls and his clone, which dispelled as soon as it saw the original, giving all its memories to Naruto. "Oh man, I can't believe we're fighting an invisible pig," Naruto said as he now knew the situation, as he got all the clones' memories on what's happening. "You alright?" Will asked Naruto as she helped him up. "Yeah, but I so need a shower," Naruto said, shaking a little to shake the slime off his body. "You could say that again," Will said as the purple slime really smelled. "Okay, I'm gonna go to the locker room to take a shower. You guys okay with cleaning up?" Naruto asked, really needing a shower but didn't want his friends to feel like he was ditching them. Everyone just nodded as he did a lot of stuff for them all the time and he really needed a shower. Few minutes later. After a few minutes of cleaning the hallway, the girls and Caleb were able to get rid of any trace of the slime. As they cleaned, Irma had a wicked idea cross her mind. "Hey Will," she said, calling out to her friend. "Yeah, what's up?" Will asked, wondering what Irma wanted. "Naruto's in the guy's locker room, right?" Irma asked, acting all innocent. "Yeah," Will said, not really following where Irma taking this. "Well, why not take a peek at Naruto? Especially to see what he's packing," Irma said, making Will blush a bright shade of red that was even brighter than her hair just from imaging Naruto's naked body. The other girls blushed as well, as they all had similar thoughts of Naruto. "What the hell is wrong with you, Irma?" Will yelled in both rage and embarrassment. "Oh my god, you should see the looks on all your faces," Irma said as she was laughing. "Seriously, since when did you start acting like a total perv?" Cornelia asked, actually wanting to know. "I dunno," Irma said while shrugging her shoulders, "but come on you guys, you can't tell me you aren't just a little curious or that you don't want to see all of Naruto," Irma said, making all the girls' blushes get darker, but Irma stopped while she was ahead as she saw the glare Will was giving her. Guy's locker room. Naruto had just finished his shower in locker room, and as he dried himself he heard a loud noise. "You have got to be F with me," he thought as he focused on the steam his shower created, as the Hermanuta beast's form could be shown in the steam. Naruto just looked around the steam looking for any shift in it and listened for any noise it might make. "You know, I think this is my first time fighting naked," Naruto thought, not really knowing how to feel about fighting naked. Naruto was pulled out of his thoughts as he saw the Hermanuta beast's form slowly move through the steam. "Okay, gotta trap him," he thought as he knew that the creature was just a youngling so he couldn't hurt it. "Okay little guy, let's get you back home." Naruto slowly approached it but saw it became quickly alert as it moved away, making Naruto stop. "Okay, it seems like it's very afraid. Maybe if I stay still," he thought as he stood completely still, and after a few moments the Hermanuta beast revealed itself. "It's okay little guy, I'm not going to hurt you," he said, hoping the creature could understand him. He slowly approached the creature, who was still visible, but before he could do anything his friends burst through the doors, startling the Hermanuta beast as it ran for the door, tackling Caleb, making fall to the floor. "Naruto, are you? Oh my god," Will was saying until she and the others saw Naruto. "Holy crp, he has a beach breaker," Irma thought, fearing what Will might do to her if she said it out loud. Terene just stared for a moment, then fainted with swirls in her eyes and a bright red face. "He's a man among men," Cornelia thought, having a light blush while finding it incredibly hard to look away. Hei Lin just stood there, having about a million thoughts racing through her mind till her head couldn't handle any more and crashed, making steam come out of Hei Lin's beet red face along with a small trail of blood coming down from her nose. Naruto blushed so hard from embarrassment it was a mystery as to how he hadn't passed out yet. Next day. Class had just begun and Naruto and the girls hadn't talked since the embarrassing moment last night. They couldn't even look at Naruto straight in the face, well except for Irma, who couldn't stop making comments or lewd remarks about last night. "Okay class, take out your textbooks and turn to page I have an announcement to make," the teacher was saying until Martin interrupted him and went behind his desk. "Ghosts to the left of me, ghosts to the right. I fought but I was outnumbered, then one lifted a desk," Martin said, telling everyone what had happened. "Last time you said it was a chair," a blonde girl said as she had heard Martin announce this earlier. "Ugh, it was one of those desk chair thingies a lot of schools are using. Okay, please hold your questions until the end," Martin said as realized he may have forgotten some details. Let's get back to studying geography, not ghost, the teacher said, wanting to actually teach his class. Caleb watched the school all night. Nothing, I guess even a crazy destructo pig has to sleep, Hey Lin said to Terene as she saw him this morning coming into the Silver Dragon. A large rumbling sound could be heard happening outside the classroom, startling a few students. When everyone got out the classroom, they saw the floor and lockers covered in purple goo. Oh, ectoplasm, Martin said, taking a picture. Sorry, teach geography takes a back seat to the people's right to know the truth, Martin said loudly as he followed the trail of purple goo. Few minutes later, all the students from class were out in the halls looking at the purple slime, asking themselves or others who could have done this. Irma walked back to her friends as she listened to Martin spout out his theories. So far Martin has nothing, and what he says no one believes, she said, glad that people either saw this as a prank or just a joke. Good thing he's unpopular, Hey Lin said as that brought his credibility down. He's got to get that thing back home, but we can't let anyone see us do it as W.I.T.C.H, Will said seriously, as they were at a huge risk, as if the Hermenuta beast was seen or if anyone found the portal, which they were taking a huge risk by just leaving it open. Martin, what's with the sleeping bag? She asked as she saw him walk down the hall right past them. Oh, I'm staking out this joint day and night, Martin said as he kept on walking. I'm gonna go look around, see if I can find a way to capture this thing, Naruto said as he walked away. Oh, yeah, good luck, Will said nervously as she still felt embarrassed after she saw Naruto completely naked last night. So, is the honeymoon over? Irma asked, teasing Will, making her blush. Irma, leave her alone, Cornelia said, looking serious. It's not her fault that she won't be able to satisfy her man, she said, surprising the others as she never helped Irma with messing with people, but then proceeded to laugh from Cornelia's remark. Will just glared at her two friends for their teasing as it was really embarrassing. Later, Naruto was a little surprised with what the Hermenuta beast had done as it ran right through people, making them fall down, knocking down a few janitors, and somehow got itself inside some girl's locker. And as he checked some of the locations it struck, he could see Blunk in the distance watching Elian, surprising him as he was actually going above and beyond in doing his assigned job. Naruto was taken out of his thoughts as someone bumped into him, and when he turned around he saw it was Martin. Naruto? Martin said, confused as to why he was here. Hey Martin, how you doing? Naruto said in a friendly tone of voice. Oh, just looking for clues, Martin said, examining the ectoplasm. So did you find any clues? Naruto asked curiously, wanting to know what he might have discovered as it could help him and the Guardians if he found out something about the creature that they didn't. Nothing much, besides it leaves a trail of ectoplasm whenever it strikes, Martin said, one of his many theories, and it lets out an animal-like noise, he said, as everyone claimed to hear something whenever it struck. Well, that wasn't very helpful, but I gotta say for an amateur his deductive skills aren't half bad, Naruto thought, as most people from his world would have already figured that out from a first encounter or just from asking a witness. Silver Dragon. Will, Cornelia, Hey Lin, and Caleb were currently discussing how to handle the situation with the Hermenuta beast and the still open portal. Guys, we have to get that portal closed, that's our job as Guardians, Will said, wanting to close it as every moment it remained open risked the safety of the people they were meant to protect. Not before we get the Hermenuta beast back in, Caleb said, still tired after his long night of watching the school. Then we have to do it tonight, it's time for W.I.T.C.H, Hey Lin said seriously, as they had a responsibility to use their powers for the sake of others. Did you forget about Martin? He's sleeping there to get his big scoop, Will said, as it would be difficult to actually use their powers or transform with the risk of Martin seeing them. Oh, and he's stubborn, nothing could get him to leave the school, Hey Lin said, as she knew things would be difficult. Actually, I can think of one thing that might, Cornelia said with a wicked smirk. What? Will asked, wanting to know what Cornelia had in mind. Cornelia just moved closer and whispered her idea into Will's ear, causing the Keeper of the Heart to have an evil grin spread across her face. Later at the school. No. I won't do it, forget it. Irma said, as the other girls smirked evilly as she was dressed in a tight red tank top that wrapped tightly around her bust, a short green skirt, some nice stockings, and a pair of red leather boots. Hand me the stupid lip gloss, she said as Cornelia put a fur coat on her. Remember you have to keep Martin away the whole evening, he can't see us as W.I.T.C.H, Terene said wanting to clarify the importance of Irma's job. I'm going, Irma said 3 times over saying the last one in a whiny tone of voice. Hey Will can we talk? Naruto asked making Will nod as they walked down the hall and went around the corner. What's up? Will said nervously as she didn't know what Naruto wanted to talk about. Well, are you mad at me? Naruto asked since last night there's been a little distance between them and she had been avoiding him. No. Will said loudly not wanting Naruto to feel like he was at fault, it's just I didn't expect to see you like that last night, she said blushing just thinking back to last night. Listen we'll talk later okay, she said giving him a quick peck on the lips. So do you think you guys will need a hand with the Hermanuta beast? Naruto asked as it didn't seem like that big of deal since it was so young. No we got this, Will said as she didn't want Naruto to think they couldn't handle a baby pig. Okay, Naruto said shrugging his shoulders as he left the building. He saw Irma walking with Martin and decided to watch them from afar because he saw this as a good source of entertainment and blackmail material for all the teasing Irma had been doing to him. Elian's house. Outside the Brown residence was Blunk under a cardboard box using some binoculars to monitor Elian. So little Pauline, Yen Lin said almost as if she appeared out of nowhere with an umbrella and jacket on to check up on Blunk. Elian go school then come home then Blunk see scary strange person, Blunk said making Yen Lin tense. Yes. Yen Lin said wanting him to clarify. Reflection Blunk in window, Blunk said letting the old woman calm down. Phobos does not have her breath at least not yet, Yen Lin said calming her nerves but remaining on guard for whatever may come. And we're gonna keep it that way, a Naruto clone said appearing out of nowhere just as Yen Lin did to Blunk. Naruto. You scared me, Yen Lin said in surprise. The original made me the moment school ended so he could keep an eye on Elian, the clone said not taking his eyes off Elian's house mentally preparing for whatever Phobos might do as he had sent his forces for Naruto already so it was anyone's guess what Phobos might do. Later outside the bookstore. What the F am I listening to? Naruto thought on a rooftop across the street from the bookstore in the rain. He was using his chakra to increase his ears' range of listening which he regretted as a guy said a poem about 2 towels, man I wanted to punish Irma but this is overkill, he thought feeling pity not wanting her to suffer. Hey, his clone said appearing next to him. Hey why are you here, the original asked him curiously. Let's save us both some time, the clone said dispelling itself giving the original all it memories and a small headache and as the original looked through it memories he saw that Elian was only a block away and watched her run inside the bookstore to get out of the rain. Naruto's attention was drawn to a girl he recognized inside the bookstore, it's that girl Michelle, he thought in realization, I wonder, he thought taking out his phone. Inside the bookstore. Oh God somebody help me Irma thought as she just had to say she and Martin were dating. Irma was brought out her thoughts as her phone vibrated for a second notifying her she had a message, introduced the blonde girl to Martin she's crushing on him, also look at the roof across the street, she thought mentally reading the message. Irma looked at the roof across the street and was surprised to see Naruto, even though she couldn't see him clearly she could see a vast amount of orange, hey Michelle right, she asked happily toward the girl. Yes, Michelle said answering Irma. Nice to meet you, Irma said extending her hand which Michelle took and shook. Nice to meet you, she said in a foreign accent. And this is Martin why don't I leave you two alone to get acquainted, Irma said getting up pulling Martin into her seat as she went to the back of the bookstore, she took out her phone and messaged Naruto to meet her by the back door of the bookstore. After a few seconds of Irma looking outside the door she saw Naruto completely soaked, hey, he said all casual. Hey, thanks for no savon me back there, Irma said in appreciation. Yeah well hearing poems about soap and towels is too much torture for just about anyone, Naruto said in all honesty. So why are you even here? Irma asked curiously. Well, I saw you and Martin leave school, so I thought, this would be a good way to get back at her, so I followed you in the hopes of being entertained and getting some good blackmail material, Naruto said, surprising Irma a little, but after watching and listening to that we're even, he said, calming Irma down. Thanks and sorry, I've been messing with you so much, Irma said, blushing in embarrassment. It's cool, trust me, like I said before, we're even, Naruto said, not really caring. So you wanna come in? Irma offered as he stood in the pouring rain. Nah, I'll keep an eye on you from the rooftop across the street, Naruto said, jumping to the rooftops. Later, outside the bookstore. Hey Martin, why don't you walk Michelle home? Irma said with a small smirk on her face. Huh, why? Martin asked, unsure of why he should do that. Cause, she needs someone to walk her home, and a great guy like you is just right for the job, Irma said, struggling to find the right words to convince him. Okay, Martin said, walking up to Michelle then walking away with her. That was nice of you, Naruto said, appearing behind Irma. Well, if you're right about that girl, then my Martin problems are solved, Irma said with a joyful smirk, and Martin might get a girlfriend, so good for him, she said, as Martin might have gotten on her nerves from time to time. That didn't mean he wasn't a nice guy. Guess you're right, Naruto said, glad he could help out his friends. So you wanna go see if the girls need our help? He asked, wondering what if she wanted to go help. Irma seemed to ponder the idea for a moment. Nah, it's a baby pig, how much trouble could they have? She said, having faith in her friends. Okay, Naruto said, having similar thoughts as Irma, so want me to walk you home? He offered, not wanting to let her walk alone in the rain. Sure, but hey, will you be okay all soaked? Irma asked as she saw how wet his clothes were as they started walking clothes. Yeah, I'm good, Naruto said, as he had ran, fought, and trained in the rain, so he didn't really feel it. Maybe I can, Irma thought as she stopped and focused her powers over water and removed all the water from his clothes. Thanks, Naruto said in appreciation, as even though he didn't mind that his clothes were wet, it didn't mean he didn't want them to be dry. Okay, let's go, Irma said as they walked toward her house. Unknown to the both of them, they were being watched by Cedric as he closed the bookstore. Interesting, he thought as he watched their retreating figures. Irma's house. The stars look nice tonight, Naruto said as he and Irma stood on the porch of her house, both of them leaning on the wooden banister. You can say that again, Irma said with a faraway look on her face, which Naruto took notice of. You alright? Naruto asked, wondering if anything was wrong. Sorta, Irma said, turning around sitting on top of the banister. I mean, Naruto, is there something wrong with me? She asked, sounding tired. Naruto was both surprised and confused as to why'd she ask him this. No. Why do you think there's something wrong with you? He asked, wanting to know why she thought that. I don't know, I mean, Martin may have been a pest from time to time, but it was nice to feel desired, and with him gone I can't help but wonder what it was that kept guys from asking me out, she asked, looking a little sad. What do you think it was? Naruto asked, wondering what she thought. Irma let out a tired sigh. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't act all girly, or maybe it's 'cause I'm not afraid to speak my mind and act different from most girls, she said, looking a little downcast. Wow, talk about irony, Naruto thought as he had similar thoughts when he was younger when he asked Sakura out on dates. Listen Irma, you are a great person, and if other guys can't see that, then that's their loss, he said. Irma was taken back by how quickly and passionately he answered. Man, I'm really jealous of Will, she thought, knowing that if Naruto was single at that moment Irma would have made her claim on him, so she decided to give him a hug. Next best thing, she thought, enjoying the embrace as Naruto hugged her back, clueless to the significance of the hug. Next day. That thing's mom came through? Naruto said in surprise as he talked to Will as they walked inside the school. Man, I do not envy you guys, he said, letting out a chuckle. Oh, laugh it up, I had to take like 3 showers when I got home, Will said in a whiny tone of voice as the Hermanuta beast slime had made her really smell. Okay, I'll ease up, Naruto said until he remembered something he forgot. Oh, well, you should join the swim team, he said, sounding excited. Will was surprised and pondered the idea for a moment. Should I? I mean, I want to, but what about guardian stuff? I'm the only one that can use the heart, she said, a little downcast. Don't worry about it, I trained you and the girls to use your powers in human form. The only downsides to you not being there is the girls not having additional power and flight, Naruto said, seeing the girls' massive improvement using their powers in human form. Will pondered the thought and realized he was right, and if the situation got to out of control Naruto would be there to stop it. Okay, you convinced me, she said smiling, but do you think I'll make the cut? She asked, uncertain if she'd make the team. Without a doubt, Naruto said, resulting in a quick kiss on the cheek. Also, like I said at the pier, I can train you so you can swim better, he said, reminding her of his offer. Yeah, okay, Will said, happy to have his support. The happy couple were brought out of their moment of peace when they saw a large group of students huddled around lockers with purple slime. I thought you and the girls took care of that stuff, Naruto whispered silently to Will. We decided not to. Without Irma it would have taken us hours, plus everyone knew anyway, Will said, also whispering. Naruto couldn't argue with that, seeing as how there would be no point in covering up something everyone knew, but he was worried by how many people wouldn't let this go, seeing as how it was a strange occurrence. Martin in here, a purple ghost. Jiraiya said, backing away from the classroom door. Martin and the teacher quickly rushed to the classroom to see the ghost, only to open the door, causing a bucket of purple paint to fall down, wetting the floor, making Martin and the teacher slip and fall on the paint. Martin and the teacher quickly walked up to a nervous-looking Jiraiya. You set this whole thing up, you cad. Pardon my language, ladies, Martin said as he and the teacher glared at Jiraiya. I mean not the other stuff, just this, Jiraiya said, getting looks of doubt from everyone. Well, that's one problem solved, Naruto thought, as now everyone believed it was a prank courtesy of Jiraiya. Yeah, we should have known Jiraiya was behind the whole thing, a student who Jiraiya picked on said. The teacher didn't say a word as he pointed to the principal's office, basically telling Jiraiya to go there. Later in the day, Naruto, Terane, and Irma were currently handing out newspapers around the school, the title being, School, Ghost, Found, with an embarrassing picture of Jiraiya being dragged away by his mom. End of the school day. Naruto, I made the team. Will said, running directly toward Naruto. Really? That's great. Naruto said, wrapping her into a hug. So you ready to go? He asked, seeing as how he drove her to school. Actually, I'm starting today, my mom's on her way to drop off some swimwear, Will said, needing to get back soon. Then what are you doing here? Go, Naruto said, not wanting to keep her from doing something she loved. As Naruto started up his motorcycle, and just as he was about to take off, he saw Terane waiting at a bus stop. Wonder if she needs a ride, he thought as he rode up to her. Hey Terane, need a ride? He asked, taking off his helmet. Sure, Terane said, a little nervous as she never rode on a motorcycle before. Here, Naruto said, giving her his spare helmet. Thanks, Terane said in appreciation. Few minutes later, Naruto and Terane were currently riding down the highway due to local traffic on the streets. Wow, this feels amazing, Terane thought as she felt the wind blow past her face and actually enjoyed the roar of Naruto's engine as it made her feel vibrant and alive. As they exited the highway, they hit a speed bump, making Terane hold on to Naruto tightly. It's okay, I gotcha, Naruto said as he slowed down as he hit a red light. Man, he's such a great guy, wish I had the guts to ask him out when he was single, Terane thought, feeling down. Maybe I should ask Nigel out, he seems like a good guy, she thought, being a little more brave than she normally would. Later, at Terane's house. Naruto rode up to the front of her house, stopping his motorcycle so she could get off. This it? Naruto asked, wanting confirmation. Yeah, thanks, Terane said as she got off, giving him his helmet. As they talked, they failed to notice a red car pull up on Terane's driveway, and when it parked out stepped her mother, who immediately saw Terane talking to some boy she didn't know on a motorcycle. Terane, cook, who is this? She asked, not liking how the boy looked as he seemed to have tattoos on his cheeks and looked like a delinquent. Oh mom, this is Naruto. Naruto, this is my mom, Terane said nervously as her mother was extremely judgmental. Hi, I'm Naruto Namikaze, Naruto said, introducing himself to his friend's mother. Teresa, cook, the woman said calmly, still having a disapproving stare aimed at Naruto. Young man, did your parents allow you to get those tattoos? She asked. What? Naruto was gonna respond till she asked another question. Do you have a permit for this bike? She asked. He was saying till he once again was shot with another question. Did you drive safely with my daughter? She asked in a threatening tone of voice. Yes, Naruto replied quickly as that seemed like the most important question to answer, and he thought he'd have little time to answer. Mrs. Cook, listen, these aren't tattoos, they're birthmarks, and this motorcycle is mine, and yes, I have a license, he said, wanting to clear the air. The woman just stared Naruto down almost as if she was trying to figure him out by just the slightest movement, but after a few moments she let out a sigh of defeat, not seeing anything wrong with him. Okay Terane, let's go, dinner should be ready, she said, walking in the house. Before she stopped, young man Naruto was it? She asked, unfamiliar with the name. Yes ma'am, Naruto said, answering her. If you intend to give my daughter any more rides home, I would like it to be in the safety of a car, Teresa said, going inside. That sounded more like a demand, both Naruto and Terane thought in unison. Sorry, Terane said, as she knew her mother could be overbearing. It's okay, see you later, Naruto said, waving goodbye. Terane waved back as she walked inside her house, where she saw her brother having a cocky grin. So how did your boyfriend take to meeting mom? Peter said, laughing a little. He's not my boyfriend bro, Terane said, laughing with him as she knows he was only teasing her. But you want him to be, Peter said, ducking as Terane, who was red in embarrassment and rage, threw a book at him. City. Getting a car, Naruto thought, pondering the idea as he drove. Maybe I should go see how Will's doing, he thought, seeing as how swim practice should still be going on. Later at the school pool. Naruto had just walked inside the school pool area, where he immediately was hit with the smell of chlorine. Man, that stuff is strong, he thought, almost tearing up from how strong the chemical was. Come on Vandom, let's see some hustle, a woman dressed in swimwear said, watching said girl do laps. Naruto sat on some benches nearby and watched Will swim. Man, was she born in the water, he thought, seeing her swim, as she had great breath control and wasted no time. Alright Vandom, take 5, that was good progress, the woman said as she was impressed by Will's performance. Alright coach, Will said, taking a few deep breaths, but stopped as she saw Naruto sitting on a bench waving at her. What are you doing here? She asked, not at all displeased. Well, I had nothing better to do, so I thought, why not go support my girlfriend, Naruto said, smiling as she sat down next to him, still wet. Thanks, Will said, having a light blush from him just being there to support her. And I gotta say, it's just a bonus seeing you in a one piece, Naruto said, making the redhead blush harder. Well, I'm glad you find me so attractive, Will said, as she was honestly worried about that. Naruto just moved closer so his mouth was close by her ear. I always found you attractive, he whispered to her, only making Will's blush intensify where it was almost the same shade as her hair. Feelings mutual, Will said, kissing him, but stopped as she saw the coach walking toward them. Vandom, you're doing good work, keep this up and you'll be going pro, the woman said as she kept time of Will's laps. Come on, you're up again in a few minutes, she said, walking away. Sorry, gotta go, Will said, getting up off the bench. It's cool, wanna grab dinner after this? Naruto asked, wanting to celebrate her making the team. It's a date, Will said, running then diving into the pool. Naruto just stares at her as she ran. Man, she has a nice peach, he thought, till only seconds later realizing what he just thought. I'm turning into pervy sage, he thought, almost afraid of that truly happening. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 7. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story in author's pyrohelixdrago, KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video, till then goodbye.